In From the Depths, there is one vehicle type which is truly the unsung hero, and that is the fortress. These Goliaths are there to defend against the encroaching hordes, to gather your resources, and ultimately make your territory feel more like your actual territory. That is to say, in the campaign mode. Now, in the adventure mode, they aren't even allowed to spawn in. They can move at less than 3 meters per second, they are truly easy to hit by pretty much any standards, and they simply don't really work well in that game mode, not really being able to do a lot of the objectives you need to do. So naturally, today, we're going to be playing through the adventure with only a fortress. Now, a fortress not only is just the style of the vehicle, it is in fact a completely different vehicle type. In new blueprints, you'll see vehicle, structure, and fortress. Fortresses are really weird. So a very quick rundown on how fortresses work. The main negative really is just the speed of these things. As you can see, this is it. There's no way of speeding this up. This is the maximum speed of a fortress. It's somewhere between 2 and 3 meters per second, I think, because it's so slow it doesn't even register on the speedometer over on the right-hand side. You do have a lot of control over the height of the fortress. Now the problem is, the lower you go or the higher you go, the more energy you start to consume. This doesn't seem like much at the moment for light fortresses like this, but when you're incredibly heavy, that will drain your batteries very, very fast. So for the run, I'm probably going to just hover around about here, which makes everything nice and efficient. And speaking about efficiency, with the fortress turbines, you can place these anywhere. They don't actually have to be on the bottom of the craft, and you can armor them up to your heart's content. They are very, very easy to defend. And as long as one of these is still running and you have enough power to run it, the fortress won't start to simply disintegrate. However, the less of these you have, the more energy is required to keep this thing aloft. So if you have just one left, you're probably going to run out of battery almost immediately. Or engine power, or both. You can also give these things combat AI, however I'm probably not going to do that during this run because I do find it more annoying than anything on a fortress, and I would like manual control over something. Since we're going to have so many weapons, I would like to have full control over at least the movement, what limited movement there is. And that goes into the positives of the fortress, and honestly, there's just one major positive. It's the ultimate gun platform. No matter how uneven you build, no matter how asymmetrical, this thing will always be completely stable until it's destroyed. Your weapons will be incredibly accurate, and fortifying them to the fortress will be incredibly easy. You are a floating weapons platform. That's all the main points about fortresses, and past Lathrix is going to go over a lot of that again throughout the game. So, into the adventure mode itself. Let's see how far we can get playing as the one type of vehicle you're not really meant to play as. So begins our journey on our tiny little adventure raft, and above us, an even tinier little fortress. Now, before we do anything, one thing I need to make clear is that, sadly, I can't turn the starter vehicle into a fortress. You can't interchange structures, fortresses, and vehicles, which means we are going to have to lug around the vehicle, otherwise we simply can't do the run. Because how the adventure mode actually works is that to lose the game, either you have to die, or the starting vehicle has to die. It doesn't matter if you have other vehicles still alive. If this thing goes down, you lose the game, which means we do have to have it with us. On the upside, we can make that fun by turning it into a manually controlled vehicle, which we use to grab portals when they eventually spawn in. And you might be thinking to yourself, but Lathrix, doesn't that make the whole negative of the fortress being so slow a bit less negative? Yes, but it can take hours on a normal vehicle to find a portal. Just running to grab it is the tiniest bit of that portion of time. In the last run, the submarine run, in the minimum difficulty, I ended up riding around, I think, for near 2 hours before a single red portal even spawned. And that was at a normal speed. Either way, I'm going to be building up the fortress, adding a starter gun, then we'll be pretty much scrapping the starting vehicle and just making it an absolute minimal size thing. Harvesting and everything else will have to be done on the main fortress. Really quick overview of how a fortress works in comparison to other vehicles. The main block here is the fortress turbine. This thing keeps everything working. If this thing runs out of power, or you simply don't have them, then the fortress will start to quite literally self-destruct. You'll lose blocks until the fortress completely eats itself. The more of them you have, the more power efficient everything is, and as you add more weight, you require more of them to stay in that level of efficiency. And that's pretty much it, and I think you can even build them on top, yet you don't actually need clearance with the floor, so what's likely to happen is by the end we're going to have a few very heavily fortified rooms with loads and loads of these stacked up. because the end vehicle, I'm hoping, is going to be as big as something like the Megalodon, because this is going to be a very, very long run. Fortresses also don't require any PIDs or stabilization, they are always perfectly stable, and I believe they're also not affected by recoil, making them the ultimate gun platforms. They move too slowly to affect accuracy, can't be affected by recoil, and are always perfectly stable. Probably the silliest start I've ever had here. I was just trying to test out different things and completely forgot enemies may spawn, and we let this missile enemy get right next to us. So what I'm firing now is just some simple weapons. These are these simple advanced cannons. So you can just put them down immediately. They're actually not too bad. If I ever do the simple weapon run, these are going to be the mainstay because they're great in difficulty 0 and 5. Then they get pretty terrible. I always forget you can actually mount these on each other. It's one of the silliest things, and yet incredibly fun. Not exactly the best starter weapon, but I think it's going to be fun anyway. I've just built a quick plasma cannon. This thing is tiny. So this is 17 charges per shot. Pew! Why did I make it white? Still, hit the gun. There we go. That thing is now completely defanged. No need to attack it just yet. The resource zone is gone though, so let's slowly make our way to that resource there. Oh my god, I'm this slow. Am I actually moving? Oh, I didn't think it was this slow. I can't seem to get the automated control block to control the fortress moving forwards. I can get it to turn. So I know it's working. There we go. Your left, your right. Up and down all work. But if I try and make it go forwards, it doesn't seem to want to. So I need to do something else apparently, which is weird. Because I can't just manually move this thing forward forever. It will break my brain. My brain's already broken enough for that. It just started working. I attacked a small plane and then it just started working. Apparently violence was the answer. Wait. But it's not working at full speed. That's full speed. That's what the automated control block is doing. I don't know anything. I'm starting to think it was always working, but it's almost impossible to tell when you're on the craft. That looks like it's still, right? But it's not. Oh my god, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? In the last video, I was lamenting how slowly I was making videos, and my first thought was, how about we make it slower? Oh! Green! Hello, green! Wait, how did that spawn there? There is no way. Yeah, that definitely spawned in. I still haven't got to there yet. I have never seen a portal spawn next to us. Is it just annoyed at our existence? Where does green even go? We are at minimal difficulty. I'm sure some people actually know what they're doing, unlike me, were screaming at me this entire time, but the obvious answer was to simply give the craft an AI. That means we can add fleet move, which means I can just give it commands, and as you can see, it's now going full speed. And also we can even make it move and turn and everything like this, which is nice. We can also give it basic instructions to actually target the enemy. I think fortresses can do basic combat maneuvers like face the enemy. I'll check that out soon enough. If we can do that, it means we can have the front of the craft actually be a focus, because at the moment, it's kind of going to be one major weapon in the center and then tiers of smaller weapons all over the craft. It's why I'm probably going to focus on lasers, because you can have a major laser system in the inside of the craft, and then that powers all the weapons everywhere. But it would be nice to have a front to the fortress, rather than being so symmetrical everywhere. But that will happen later. Right now, it's going to float on by. Let's actually armor this thing up and increase its size a little bit, and try and find a red portal eventually. This will probably be the run I actually use a shield generator. So these things include the armor class of blocks on the vehicle. I think pretty much all of them. Yeah, so the metal is going from 40 to 48 for this tiny little ring. Now, they are incredibly dangerous and very power hungry, so they're not something I'll be using yet, but I will use later. When I say dangerous, it's because they explode and are very flammable when they get destroyed. Whoa! Okay. At this point, I am certain things are being spawned incorrectly, because that just spawned right on top of us. Also, I accidentally activated slow motion there. It's also trying to throw a nuke at us, so that's great. Well, its own nuke destroyed it, so that was a thing. Now, I promised I wasn't going to do this, but I'm going to quickly use the adventure bell and see if this is actually happening, and this time catch it on camera properly. The reason why I don't want to use the adventure bell is just because I don't want to get that much resource per zone, because we're already going to be overflowing with resource. I think I'm going to try and cap myself at 2 million, which I think we'll easily get by difficulty 100. Oh, adventure bell. Tell me if something weird is actually happening. Or am I just going crazy? Nope, that is definitely the wrong place to spawn. Things should not be spawning literally on top of us. What a bizarre interaction. So now we need to figure out what's causing it. There we go. If it's just us being a fortress, there's nothing I can do, and this run is pretty much scrapped, and you're not hearing this. If it's the vehicle below us, however, that's a pretty quick fix. We just need to change our... where are you? The docking station. Okay, I've rang the bell again. Can't see... There we go! Okay, so it was because of the position of the main vehicle. Oh, that could be exploited so easily. How weird. Okay, so my accuracy isn't great at super long ranges. Good to know as well. Like, if you had one vehicle which was super heavy into close quarters combat and you could force spawn enemies that close, that could be very fun, but also very, very silly. So all I changed was now we're holding the main vehicle steady like this, rather than holding it at a 90-degree angle. I love plasma. It just makes the confetti so visual. There we go. I think I've killed more enemies in this difficulty now than I have before. So yeah, what we need to do very soon is turn the main vehicle into some kind of water skimmer, which I can manually control, so I can go and gather resources. Not from resource zones and such, but I mean just like grab these little resource caches. I mean, I think I can increase the range of gathering though if I just add more resource storage. So hopefully I won't need to do that too much. We are slowly making our way to that portal. We'll be there someday. It's been 10 minutes since the last clip and look at how far the red portal still is. This is why I'm going to allow myself to build a vehicle just to go through the red portal. Oh no, I've just thought. I actually don't think the fortress can go through red portals. I think only the main adventure craft can. Which means even now I'm going to have to somehow get my adventure craft to that red portal. We'll cross that bridge in another 10 minutes when we get there. Still not there. I've now been in difficulty 1 for 2 hours. Just went past 2 hours. And it took me 2 hours to realise that one of my connections in my gun simply wasn't connected properly. That's why I had 17 max charges rather than 18. Took me that long. I play this game professionally. Yeah, that probably would have activated there. Okay, dancing around the entire portal. Yeah, okay, so we need to get the main vehicle to actually go through the portal. Which for now just means I'm going to add another tractor beam and just throw it up there haphazardly. Wait, that way. Okay, you, adventure craft, apply. Whee! And up you go. That looks so daft. But there we go, difficulty 5. Yay. First enemy of difficulty 5, and it's just one of these little things again. There we go, pop. And do I bother getting the resources, the question? Oh, there's another enemy. In that case, yes I do, because they're both coming from the same side.
Moving now.
It's only 800 resource, but at this point we need all we can. We really need to convert our craft down here as some kind of resource grabber until I'm a much larger fortress. Though I do kind of feel like that kind of goes against the theme of the challenge, but really the challenge is just surviving as a fortress during fights. This is just slow. Don't know yet. Don't know how I'm going to decide. Tell me how you feel in the comments, and then some of you will be very disappointed. Well, I've messed up his movement anyway, so that's good. He's trying to go underwater, which is pretty good for avoiding our shots, to be fair. What does it even have? Oh, it's got a little cram cannon on the front. I thought this was one of the missile craft. I mean, do I let it get closer before firing again? Getting its resource is already going to be incredibly annoying, and I doubt it can see us properly after the damage is taken. Yeah, that was firing off into space, and there's no enemy over there, so let it get closer, then finish it off. I mean, it's very low on health. Maybe I'll just fire a few shots at the cram cannon itself. It's so hard to see my shots. Need to change their colour. Oh, that's fire. That's it. Douse them for me. Thank you. There we go. No more weapon. Yay for plasma. Well, we've turned it into a flyer, so that's neat. Another like 15 minutes have passed. We would now find a resource zone, and the next enemy, a scrapper. I don't even know what weapon this thing had. It's just slowly, menacingly heading towards me without actually firing anything. Oh, you. Yeah, you're a weird one in this difficulty, honestly. He has quite specific uses, and it doesn't normally fight back very well. Although we are showing the weakness already of this gun, it doesn't really tear through things fast enough. But it is our starter gun, and as a starter gun, it's fine. Haven't I gone like all the way through this thing now? Is that the steam boiler? There we go. Little bit of fire. I kind of wish plasma caused fires, but I understand the balancing with that would be really weird, but I still kind of wish it had the option because I like fires. Is it going to ram us? No, it just delivered the resource. Very kind. What might be nice, and I used to do this all the time, I just kind of stopped doing it lately, is if we made this craft completely walkable by the player avatar. I think that would be really nice if we could access every section to at least some degree, because it's nice to be in first person once in a while, when it's not just this. It's something different, and I am going to have a lot of time just doing nothing, to be honest. So for once, I'm actually using the reinforced decking rather than just regular wooden beams, and I never noticed the bottom metal section is so super smooth looking. Oh, red portal, lovely. But yeah, that's really smooth. So the idea with this really is just, if you want the regular wooden texture, but you want some basic protection rather than making every single piece a mimic, and then using other materials, you can just use this instead. It's not quite as strong as metal, armor 24, health 250. Yeah, it's definitely not as strong as regular metal, but it will do, and I never use it because I always forget it even exists. I love the Onyx Watch smaller craft. They have such a nice style to them, I found. Yeah, sheer damage isn't that great with this type of plasma. What you really want is more charges per shot. We have the minimum at the moment for rapid fire, which has been great up until kind of this point. Though it's still doing okay. Oh, I think those two will probably fight each other, which is nice. Finally! That went on for like 12 minutes. It had one weapon after fighting the other enemy, so it couldn't really fight back properly, and it was just taking so long to get destroyed. Now, you are another enemy I fired at once, and this thing has the really big missiles, which I really don't want to be fired against me. Perfect shot, it no longer has missiles. Once again, we're just kind of sitting here for a while. So, with the resources we're going to get before we go through the portal, what we really need is more RTGs, because although I would love to use other power sources, we are going like an hour plus per difficulty, minimum, absolute minimum. At the moment, I'm on an hour 30 for difficulty 5. I need that free, constant energy. Things like fuel and steam, I will add later as a backup, but I can't use them as the main resource, at least for now. So more RTGs, more battery storage in different places, more armor, and of course we need a bigger weapon. I am considering going with a regular non-railgun, just because consistent damage doesn't use up our energy stores. Missiles are obviously a good option, but I've used so many missiles lately, and it's weird I'm saying this, but I'm actually starting to find them a little bit dull. Laser systems I'll use a lot later, as I mentioned. Particle cannons are always an option, but again for later. So probably for now, I would love to continue with plasma, so just upgrade this gun, make it a bit higher. Yes, I am basically building a tower at this point, and more internal power production. So many enemies being killed. I'm gonna move on soon just because we are getting that much resource. Okay, I've ended up killing like 10 enemies since being here. For some reason, the spawn rate just decided to ramp up immediately as soon as I entered the resource zone. The resource zone is almost completely used up now, so we're about to head towards the red portal anyway. So the center I'm going to continue to have as the highest point, but now we are going to start expanding outwards. This way we can really defend the core. Most of my resource has gone into heavy armor for the core already, along with lots and lots more RTGs. So way more power production and way more protection for all of our vitals. So the tower will be extended later. This first, because what I want is the center to always be the highest point. This is where our main weapon, which I'll be manually controlling, will go. Once the enemies are a little bit bigger, I'll be using more detection systems and AI and everything else, because we want weapons all over the craft. Although we are going to front load a lot of it, so in this direction, our turn rate just isn't good enough, and because we can't strafe or move around, we could very, very, very easily be cornered and have enemies behind us and just things go horribly, horribly wrong. So we do need some weapons everywhere. It's going to be a really weird design by the end. I'm thinking Eye of Sauron meets Lathrixian style castle. Okay, central chamber is now empty, which means we can use this more for the gun, so we don't have to really increase the size of the craft anymore, just the gun will be higher up. I have dropped the original craft though, I now realise. At least making this whole place walkable, which I'm going to do very soon, will mean that for once I'm actually going to have a fortified room. Not to spoil it much for past runs, but you know, maybe that would be a good idea, and maybe I should have thought about that in past runs. Now on 56 charges. And straight for that gun. Beautiful, look at that, and instantly annihilating that main gun. Okay, good, the enemy is pretty much defanged immediately. Yeah, need more cooling. I did actually increase the cooling a little bit using power, but that wasn't enough, clearly. Need to tweak some things. $70,000 damage for that shot, absolutely beautiful. Plasma's weird though, although the larger shots are way more efficient, because of how the damage propagates, I don't particularly like the single large shots normally, because they can be stopped. Essentially, plasma hits a block, destroys it, and then the damage spreads to nearby blocks, and it keeps doing that repeatedly. Depending on how the enemy's built the craft, that can lead to you just shearing off armor repeatedly without actually doing damage to the insides, unlike a lot of other weapons. So splitting up the shots into multiple tends to be better. The first shearing off armor, the second one going inside, actually doing some work. Ooh, floaty. Is that really small Scarlet Dawn craft? Or am I thinking Lightning Hoods? No, it is Scarlet Dawn. It's so weird seeing a Scarlet Dawn with a cram cannon. But there we are. Also caused some fires that time, so we've already pierced through it a little bit. It's nice and stable, which means it's nice and easy to hit. Beautiful. And now it's going down. Do we bother firing or just let it sink? Probably should shoot again. Let's go now. Ah. Stop changing directions. Like, these shots are quick as well. Plasma, even by its default speed, are very, very fast. 1,400 meters per second fast, but even then, slight movements at this range can be a real problem, which we can't do. Yeah, as you can see, this is our major issue with a fortress. We can't dodge at all. Basic movements would be able to counter a lot of what they're doing, but sadly, we can't really do that at the moment. There we go, another hit. As you can see, that one didn't actually do... No, it did do internal damage. Never mind. I am very happy. And will it sink below the waves? please, because I can't really do damage below the waves at the moment. I really should have some torps now I think about it. I could try... Yeah, you can't really see us when you're that underwater though, can you? Lovely. Don't really know what to do now. Do I keep firing and wasting ammo, or hope it just dies? But I can't just hope, because I am losing stuff. Oh, there we go, too low. We have a victory. Who are you? Ooh, that was a lot of damage, but sadly not the main gun there. It was a little bit off. One more shot, hopefully. Not quite. Yeah, this is why splitting the shots later is going to be better. I could probably have easily hollowed that out by now. No, to be fair, it's not a particularly long reload, even on the full charge. How long does it take? 10 seconds? Yeah, about 10 seconds. Lovely. 56,000 damage, lovely. That's made it rock around a lot. Where are the missiles actually coming from? Oh, they're at the back from that turret. That's impossible for me to hit the current angle. If only we could move to get a better angle. That would be nice, wouldn't it? It's almost like something's stopping us from doing that. Surely I'm right in the core now. There we go. Yeah, I do love plasma, and it is very difficult to stop, but this early on, it just feels so like it's being restrained. Just way too much. Missiles or something else, or even a railgun at this size, I feel would be a lot better. Like, most of my cost is that gun. I think it's like 70% of the cost is just the gun. Lots of hollow spaces still. I love how the rain effects go through solid objects. I understand how laggy things would get if everything like that was made perfectly, but it still makes me laugh sometimes when I'm actually trying to make it seem livable. Single blocks are fine here. I'll do some mimic work later. Right now I just want to get the basic framework sorted for where I'm going to start walking around. Then I can start building with that in mind. Is that going to be alright? Let's see. Okay, we jump out. Da 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 da. Ooh. What just happened? Okay, I'll go the opposite way around then. Da, 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 going down. Okay, yeah, we can use that. Perfect. Not exactly agile, but it never really is. Sure, that's fine. Look, someone please explain what just happened here. So I was on here. I jumped off. How did I fly through the ceiling without pressing jump afterwards? I'll never be able to recreate that, and that's going to annoy me a lot. Okay, cool. That's fine. A melee sub was heading towards us. Thankfully, it got so close we could actually hurt it with the plasma. Yeah, really need to make some anti-sub stuff soon. So the first enemy I've seen in ages is a submarine, and the first portals I'm seeing, of course, are green. Anyway, back to cleaning things up. I'm turning this into like a corridor here, so it looks a bit more proper and we can decorate it later. And honestly, although we do want to be able to go all the way around the craft, it doesn't mean we need to go to every last inch of it, as long as we have like main sections visited. So the control section, the weapons, stuff like that, I think will be enough. It's raining and now the oceans are blood red. You know, all good signs. Oh, and apparently there's an enemy somewhere over here. What a bouncy little thing. Yeah, if I fire at that now, I'm probably going to miss. Okay, get a little bit closer and actually pay attention to its patterns next time. Doesn't seem to be able to shoot us either, unless it's shooting at something behind us. It can fire over there. Red portal, thank you. Moving now. Let's get our butts over there, please. And a direct hit for only 9,000 damage. I must have hit like a sub-block or something. Still reloading. Oh, is that going into the water? No, not quite. Oh, we hit the weapon. Lovely. I mean, so far the plasma, though very power-hungry, has been fantastic. Now we slowly get to the red portal. One more enemy before we hit the red portal. Oh, these waves are so annoying. I was losing so much damage from that shot then. Still has a good shot. We've got some explosive damage in, which means we've done something. Oh, we hit the gun. We just hit it anyway. And there we go. We continue very slowly towards the red portal. In case anyone was wondering, sadly, nope, warping doesn't work on a fortress. Not that I use it on normal craft, but yeah, it would have been a perfect time to use it right now. I think one of the big problems with trying to decorate this place is it's just a little bit too small, and this is the camera angle. It just looks a little bit claustrophobic, so I think I will be redoing this place once the fortress is bigger. Also, yeah, managed to take some damage in here somehow, which is really worrying. Anyway, let's go back to the top because I have something to look at. I've just put down a 2-axis turret with a tractor beam, which means now I can move the starter craft at will. That's going to make going through red portals significantly easier, because now I can just point at the red portal. I would also like cameras set up in the safe room, so again, something for the future. Straight away, an enemy in difficulty 15, and it is absolutely gorgeous. Oh, we might have a new favourite of mine in the low-end flyers. 50k, that is absolutely phenomenal. Oh, look at the dart-style missiles! Okay, whoever created this, hats off. That is one of the prettiest craft in the game. And they want to shoot it in the face. That's going way too high. That little duck and diving is really messing up the aim, which is very annoying. I wish I waited a little bit longer. Well, I shot it in its face. Maybe that wasn't actually the best. Ooh, lasers or particle cannons? Oh, fire missiles! You so rarely see those. Ooh, that was nasty. What an irritating enemy as well. I hope it flies around, but our weapon isn't AA weapon technically, so yeah. Gorgeous though, absolutely gorgeous. As soon as I have the detection system, I think I'm going to be spamming these things. These are the simple weapons, which are essentially just small advanced cannons. I am going to be doing a simple weapons run eventually, because, well, I say eventually because it's going to be an absolute nightmare. And I'm not even sure if I'm going to end up using these during that run, because although they are fantastic, and in the simple weapons category, again, they are basically just small advanced cannons, just uncustomizable. Though they are pretty weak. They're not exactly strong, they do look awesome. I'm not sure, tell me in the comments if I should use this in a simple weapons only run, since it is so similar to the advanced cannons, just scaled down severely. Or should I focus more on the other weapons, things like the shard cannon, the AI guns, and the auto cannons? Or a mix of everything and just try not to overly use these? Anyway, the point is, during this run I am going to be using a lot of these, because I can put them everywhere and I think they look awesome on a fortress. Next enemy was a few small planes. Thankfully, if you set the plasma to single charges, it becomes a really good anti-air weapon. Now, is there a way using the control blocks to affect plasma so I can just swap the sizes automatically, or am I going to have to do something else to do that? Looks like something else. Okay. I am actually really looking forward to the simple weapons only run eventually, because some of the weapons are just fun looking. Super short range, blast guns, the regular cannons, which actually do a surprisingly high amount of damage if they do hit the target, short range lasers, we have the shard cannons, which is a super long range kind of sniper, and then we have the auto cannons, which are just fun. And the grenade launcher, I'm not entirely sure how that one works. I think it's similar to the advanced cannon ones, you can actually change it up. Yeah, but that's something I'll need to look into in the future. Actually, I wonder how good this would be as just a small anti-air weapon I can just turn on, because I could put these everywhere. Because those shots are pretty quick. Another Hellfire. And again a miss. It really is hard to hit on the way in. Which is incredibly irritating. But, yeah, not big enough to survive one of those shots. Its fire damage is really good for such small looking missiles. Oh well, I guess they are super short range. Well, thanks to that last fight, we now have the resources to do what I really want to do, which is lots of small weapons everywhere. So time to add our detection systems, then make them invisible, because I hate how they look, and then we can actually just automatically start attacking things. I will retain full control of the main gun for now, though later on I'll probably share it with the AI. Could we please stop fighting so many bouncy things? Yep, those shells didn't have a fuse. First time hitting with one of the simple weapons there, and they simply bounce harmlessly off the target. Yay! They actually did damage. Well done them. Well, with this fight, that's definitely enough resources for everything. There is a resource zone over there, but I'm going to ignore that and just keep looking for the next portal. We now cost over 100,000 resources, which is a lot. And again, I'm trying not to focus on how much we cost, because we are going to cost loads this run, but I'm going to also try and avoid going over the top with that. And, as many people pointed out, I do mention that too much in these videos. I'm going to try and resist. But when hours pass, it feels like I'm never mentioning it, but actually I'm mentioning it constantly when I cut down the video. I'm a very repetitive guy. I'm very simple. Now making them all invisible. And I've added the 4 little cannons. I don't really think these will do much, but for now it's just nice to hear gunfire again rather than just plasma. So another good thing of having these weapons is because they fire very loudly, if I'm alt-tabbed, like I was just then, I can hear them. Oh, we're scoring hits. Lovely. I was really worried about our detection systems, especially at long range, because these shells are not the most accurate anyway, and yeah, with the low fire rate, any hits at this range, I would consider a success. These are only temporary anyway, they will be replaced. I'm thinking first with flak cannons. So, advanced cannons, probably railguns, tiny little things with belt-fed loaders, just pepper the enemy with flak shells. That way we can have some anti-air, some proper anti-air. Why is this thing not firing back? Low-level Steel Striders have a tendency to not shoot you even at medium ranges, and at long ranges like this, they just don't seem to notice your existence. Now, automatic detection is set to 0.1, so it definitely knows we exist. Still, nice to see some hits. Our detection system's working fine. Okay, it's firing back now. It is in fact using some torps. Just floating out of the water slightly there, so it only hits the main, well, the old vehicle, because we can just heal that. Cool. I mean, the little turrets did end up doing damage, which is nice. That's not going to be enough to fully destroy that, right? Okay, this thing needs to be replaced with just a block of heavy armor at some point. Thankfully, because we're holding it, we can just heal it back to full almost immediately, but yeah. Block of heavy armor in the future. I still love how the main use for these guns is just alarm system. Okay, I still love this flyer, but can we please get another type of enemy at this point? Hey, this time actually hits it before it's directly above us, though we didn't hit anywhere vital this time. Actually, decent damage coming from the side guns there. Such a shame they can't fire upwards. Well, busy building the next layer, and honestly, I'm pretty happy with it now. I've rebuilt it a few times. The first time I went for more of a perfect circle. The amount of times I've looked up Minecraft guides on how to build circle towers and such. But honestly, I think I prefer this. Similar to the first layer here, I prefer the kind of sharper edges to it. It's obviously not an actual perfect circle, but I just think it's more interesting to look at. That thing hasn't shot back at all, so I've just been letting the side weapons fire. Oh, it finally fired back just as it all exploded. Sure. Oh, low materials. I wonder if that's a hauler instead. Are you just meant to move material around? Because I swear you never fight back until it's way too late. We have way too many resources to play with right now. Thank you, Red Portal. How many more of these do we have to fight? Why am I firing single charges? I honestly can't remember. I was definitely messing around with something a short while ago. Yeah, how flammable is the wooden decking exactly? 30%, so not quite the level of wood, which is 80%, but still. That would explain the sheer amount of damage. I didn't even consider that until just then. Another enemy, just let me go through the red portal. I just want to build in peace. A bit of a jump in time, since I've been facing a lot of the same enemies. I've just made this huge cavity underneath, and I've decided I don't want to continue with this kind of weird circle design I've been going with. Instead, we're going to go with a lot more sharp angles. I'm thinking something like the Onyx Watch. I also want to go a lot more asymmetrical soon, and I really want to make this thing a bit more unique than just the weird birthday cake I'm currently building. Maybe. Also, still on the lookout for a red portal in difficulty 20 after 40 minutes. It's been a really boring difficulty 20 so far. Finally set up the plasma with the AI, which means now I can continue building whilst we fight off the enemy threat. I think this is just a deep water guard though, it's not too bad. The plasma could stop missing, that'd be great. I think it's just because the enemy's bouncing around. The Kalmar! Wow, I haven't seen one of these in ages. So low in the water. There we go, actually hitting the target now. Lovely. Well, whilst you do that, I'm going to continue to build this. I finally found myself a red portal. This is how the walls are looking currently. I'm much happier with this than they were previously, even if they do look a little bit goofy. I'm okay with a little bit goofy. Difficulty 25, and a perfect time for the first enemy, because honestly, I'm running out of resources. I've been adding loads of armor and trying to make the whole craft look a little bit more alive, but that is very, very expensive. Ooh, that seems to be quite a good shot. That thing has stopped a little bit. What even is this that we're currently fighting? I still don't know what that is. It's obviously Onyx Watch, but I do not know that craft from the silhouette. Doesn't seem too big. It was firing, I think, advanced cannons at us? Yes, this is the Escalade. I have never seen this one before. Very small craft for difficulty 25, and that's not actually great, because I do really need those resources. Let's see if we can split this thing in half. Another shot to the center there. Ooh, that caused an explosion. AI dead. Yep, the core just went bye-bye. So with that, let's move on over here. And a quick overview. This is what I'm doing. I'm adding more armor to the front since I am currently hiding there. I'm building this little tower here, which is going to house the advanced cannon, which will be our first flak gun. And other than that, that's about it. For like 30 minutes, that's all I've done. There'll be a boat on the horizon. A lot of shots. I'm going to take manual control of the plasma and try and hit the side of that thing. That's a lot of small shots. They're not too powerful. We are being pelted by them. See if we can break off a piece of the side. Oh, do not go for the side. It's not connected very well. The plasma will be useless. Could go for the masts. Or that mine gun on the front, I guess. Good, okay. Main gun damaged. Oh, it is just like a serious one huge main gun. Try not to zoom in too much. I would like to see an enemy, not just a random silhouette in the distance. Okay, our smaller shots are actually doing pretty good stripping the side there. But this is why we need more weapons, more automated, smaller gauge weapons. Okay, looks like the cram cannon may be just misfiring now. Good, good, good. Okay, let me just change the plasma to way smaller projectiles. Actually, you know what? Rapid fire. And I'm going to manually control it again. There we go. Just loads of shots there all over the side. Trying to take out some barrels or something interesting. Yeah, we really need some more basic low resource weapons like cram or basic advanced cannons. Less energy. It turns out the enemy's worth something like 250,000, which is kind of insane. Probably should stop trying to fire at the core here, since it's just a weapon than armor, but it is just so satisfying seeing all this break off. Yeah, should probably try and go for the back. We've already taken out the sails, but that doesn't seem to be its main movement. It's mostly just visual by the looks of things. How did that not destroy it? Yeah, plasma damage is so weird. Sometimes it'll just rip a whole section off, but then depending on how the thing's built, other times it'll just do nothing. There we go, gun gone. As long as we keep moving, I think we've definitely slowed it with the sails. We can just recharge for a while. Oh, one hit inside and the whole thing went up. Okay, so that's going to be a lot of resources, which is good because I need some new weapons, obviously. The fact everything I kill goes to heaven makes me really worry about my own morality. A couple of enemies in the distance. Ooh. That's going to be hard to hit, but I feel like it's something which will probably detonate with one good shot. That thing over there is literally using simple weapons, so can my cannons also try and target that? I doubt you're going to get a hit, but if you do, that would be fabulous. So that's Scarlet Dawn, and it's a laser flare. Yeah, that movement is horrendous for our weapons. Oh, never mind, we did get one good hit there. In fact, it's caused a fire because it's detonated something inside. Is it looking the wrong way? Yep, so we hit the back, which is clearly less heavily armored than the front. The carnage. Ooh, that's lovely. Oh, it's fuel. Yep, that fire's gonna burn for a while. Hopefully, it will completely remove all of the fuel from the craft, meaning it can't get its energy back properly. I don't know when to fire with this thing. It moves so weirdly. I fired just then and I think, oh, never mind again. Every time I say I think I'm going to miss, I hit. So from now on, I'm just going to say I'm doing terribly, and then I'm going to destroy everything in one shot. We have no laser defense at the moment, so that's really going to hurt. Doesn't really have like one major turret, so I'm thinking just fire anywhere. I'm trying to get the sides a little bit. That was 60k damage, so that was good at least. Yeah, the cannons aren't really hitting. Oh, do not go for the turret cap, please. Thankfully, it's the most heavily armored section, but even then, would love if you didn't. We do not have enough ammo right now. Lovely, another good shot. Fire again. I'm hoping that's the other fuel store. Again, if it has no fuel, its engines are going to fail. If its engines fail, its lasers are going to turn off. I'll go for the same spot when I can. Oh, if I can, it's turning weirdly now. Straight after this, I'm adding more ammo, I swear. Okay, it's close enough, at least we are hitting with the side guns a little bit. Stop going for the turret cap. I guess I could try and go for the two turrets. But I'm also thinking, we've got so far through it already. If we're just keep going for the core like that, surely we're going to take out something more important. Those are pretty weak missiles. The warheads might not have activated, it was so close. How are you still going? This thing was very well designed, clearly. Though actually, no, saying that, look how little damage it's doing. Oh, yeah, removing that fuel, the laser systems are basically turned off. They're not even destroying decorations. They're there visually, but that's about it. Oh, on the underside. Still alive! How? You are so irritating. There we go. Changed it to fire in sets of 5 rather than all, so we can actually call the thing out. Lovely, and that's actually enough resource to add a really basic advanced cannon. Fantastic. Well, first we have to repair, but still. Oh, that was brutal. Yeah, when the enemy's a bit closer, going down to only a few charges per shot seems to be a lot more effective. Gets through armor and causes all sorts of problems. Well, the gun wasn't ready yet, but apparently we're now testing it, and probably not going to be hitting that target. We are firing quite slow-moving shells. Looks pretty Steel Strider. This is the Aurora. Oops, and I've actually locked onto one of the shells. I can't believe I managed to do that. There we go. So these shells are heat shells, ones I've used more than probably anything else, and it instantly killed it. Well, we're showing why I'm using them. So, heat shells are amazing. They hit the target and explode, and then fire copper through the enemy. If they hit the right spot, like then, it can one-shot targets or just cause massive detonations, ammo and everything else just going up. It is a really reliable shell type. Not being left alone in difficulty 30. Okay, yeah, good looking that thing. What even is that? I don't think it's meant to fly like that. What is going on? Oh, the Valkyrie. That just immediately broke. Well, not the best fight to test things out, but at least resources are good, I guess. I think that's our first twin guard enemy, and it's a big boy. Okay, let's change our shots to the larger ones. It'll be way more fun there. Oh, yep, getting some hits with the heat shells. Lovely. I've decided our turret caps are going to be a lot more castle-like because, honestly, it just fits the theme, but also, when am I going to get a chance to do that again? It's also just loads and loads of fun. Now, obviously, I should be going for the base, but I feel like the plasma has a chance of just detonating that top section, which is lovely. Some fire damage there, either from the plasma or the heat. Yeah, definitely need to make those shells faster. I mean, in the future we'll have railguns, so that won't be so much of an issue, but still. Ooh, that was a lovely hit there. And we managed to hit the base by mistake. I love seeing the fragments just cascade out of the target when you hit certain corners. Looks like we pretty much offlined at the top section there. Not quite sure what's happened there. Potentially it was the heat shells knocking something offline, or potentially the plasma just caused loads and loads of damage. Ooh. There's a lot of fire. I'm assuming that thing has a lot of fuel in it, or ammo or something. Just keep going for the top section because the base is too much underwater at this range and it'd be a nightmare to try and hit. Oh, that is beautiful, and we have won. Lovely. But yeah, gonna go more castle-like. Can't wait until I change the centerpiece. So I do want to stay asymmetrical, so I don't want to build another one of these squares here. I want this to remain flat. Then maybe another kind of tower here? Not sure. First time in the sandbox mode, because as you can probably see here, we have way too much empty space, and honestly, I really didn't like how the craft looked. It looked so generic and so symmetrical, it was actually annoying me. So instead, we're cutting off all that section, we're going to re-armor this, and then we're going to start only adding sections when I have something to add to them. Rather than just adding for the sake of adding more space, I want a turret. Let's add a new tower or a new section. I want a new area just to walk in and some decoration. Then I'll add it. That's it. So it's still going to look a bit weird for a while, but now we have a different mantra going forwards. Is mantra the right word? Mantra might be the right word. I sounded smart or saying it in my head. Ooh, well that worked. Wow, it took out both of the front guns? Okay, so this is a really, well, it's actually not the biggest gun, but it's the biggest in terms of some of its settings. So these are 500mm gauge and 8-meter length shells. So very big shells being thrown from a railgun. And how they're set up is they're advanced cannons with a timed fuse with loads and loads of fragments. It's similar to heat, but a bit more actually destructive. If they don't destroy something vital, they're still going to absolute sheer metal. The accuracy is a bit poor right now, though, so something to consider. This is one of the potential weapons to replace the plasma gun. Think I might wait a little bit longer, though. I would like this thing to be a little bit better before I install it. I want it to be bigger than it currently is. It also takes a lot of energy. The reason why it's so inaccurate is because I haven't bothered to add recoil suppression because I'm just doing some tests. Very cool, though. Big old gun. Yep, works on the event horizon as well. That's a one-shot kill. My computer's about to break. Yeah, that might be the end gun we go with once we have a much bigger craft. Currently, the craft costs about $290. Is to say 290,000, and I think this just needs more everything to support it. They also want the main tower to be taller at that point. Okay, so after an hour and a half of making things, destroying them, remaking them, I've gone for a scaled back version of what we had before. So, 2 cannons, they fire 10 rounds per minute, they're still 500mm gauge, still 8-meter length, and still loads and loads of fragments, which will detonate inside the target. The idea is, though, because they're fragments, they should also do a good chunk of damage, so unlike heat, these should be able to tear through armor eventually, and not just rely purely on that internal damage. But going with the internal damage, Let's have a quick test versus the Hobgoblin. These things tend to explode if you hit the right spot, so I can't imagine it would take more than 2 or 3 shots. Let's just go for the core. There we go. Not the best shot there. I was hoping to be a little bit higher, but we've caused some fires. There's internal damage. And as you saw, lots of stuff just fell out. And that time, we've destroyed jets, the engine, and it's gone. And that's it. And since it fires 10 times a minute, it's not like it's a one-shot thing, then we have to wait too long. We can keep on firing with this thing. It's not so reliant on that one good shot. I think this will be a consistent, fun weapon. Though not at its full power level yet. That'll happen later, once we add a lot more stuff. What else is kind of our cost? Well, there's the achievements. I know this thing can be difficult to take down sometimes. I guess go for the jets again. I know they're quite heavily armored, but still. Well, there's fires. We've done 115,000 kinetic damage there, some explosive damage, and there's fire, so we've hit something vital. That was the Hobgoblin detonating. Actually, I think we may have taken out the achievement as well. Yep, there it goes into the water. Probably took out its engines or damaged the jets, just not completely. So yeah, I think this is a good weapon. Armored up on the turret itself. Going to have loads of layers around it. Hopefully this thing won't detonate and take the rest of everything with it. I'm going to finish this off and then finally back into the adventure mode. Been here way too long. Back in the adventure mode, healing up, and time to try and find some more fights. Of course, small targets, when I don't really want to fight small targets. Do I waste a shot now? I mean, I don't have a super long reload, so I guess I probably should. What even are they? They're actually very far away. They look like Twin Guard, I'd probably say? Yeah, definitely Twin Guard. Even with the shells moving at 1,100 meters per second, that's going to be difficult to hit with this type of weapon. There we go, direct hit on that one, it's on fire, and down it goes. One shot kill for you. Oh, that was the command one, look, it's now holding the other two because it died. Ha, perfect. There we go, hit one of the smaller ones, lovely. Bigger than I thought it was, actually. Wonderful. And now it's drowning its friend by accident. Is that a ship? I can hardly even see it. That is so far away, it's ridiculous. I mean, it can't even fire its cram at us. You know what, Warden? You're a tiny target way too far away. I doubt our detection system's even picking you up properly, hence the lack of aim there. I'm going to allow the heat shells to keep firing, but I'm going to keep on building. So I'm building a small area here. We're going to drill into this section here because it's mostly just empty. And I'm going to add a small anti-aircraft weapon. Yes, I'm actually doing it this time. And it's going to be plasma. So rapid fire plasma, probably only 1 or 2 charges per shot. Just nice and consistent, really quick shots, able to hit small targets. After that, we need to work on some anti-munition stuff, which I'm thinking, honestly, just a load of missile pods hidden around the fortress, because that's probably the easiest way to do that. I do eventually want lasers, but the lasers will be in the future when I add the lasers. Ha! Instant kill. I didn't even see where it hit. Oh, it looks like it, yeah, kind of went through. It looks like the heat shells probably turned off its weapons since it wasn't firing at even that distance, and then, yeah, main weapon just eradicated it. So the plasma's not a particularly big one. It can fire 180 rounds per minute, so it's just firing like this. Yeah, accurate enough. I'll probably add some more energy so it fires the shots a little bit faster, but that's going to be it. Probably should put it a little bit higher up so it can actually fire over this one. About here. And so the mound of guns continues to grow. Ah, there's a boat in the distance. Oh, lovely. Hard to see exactly what it did, but I saw a chain reaction happening. Camera. Okay, I'm going to pause time. Where did the camera just put me? All the way back here. Okay. Probably where I was when I started zooming in. Oh, it's tipping. Yeah, that frag did its job. Now, what were you just firing at? 'Cause you're firing off into the distance over here. There's nothing there. Yep, broke its brain. Maybe its detection system is really that far off after being hit. If I leave it, will it just sink and we get the points? Even at that speed, I can't hit that thing. Yeah, there's a tiny enemy, got hit once with a heat shell, now it's doing this. What on earth? How fast does that go under the water? I don't even know what that was. I've been here now for 2.5 hours in difficulty 30. The enemies have just stopped spawning for some reason, and it is getting so boring. I don't have enough resources to do anything else, since I need resource for ammo and for repairs. I've set up the AI now with this weapon, so now it'll fire at smaller targets. It has the aim point selection. This one isn't set up with AI at all, it's still just manual control. This one goes after larger targets, and that's it. The next gun, I think, will be placed here. It might be an anti-munition thing, though I still need to figure out exactly what I'm doing with that. I think I mentioned missiles like an hour ago. The mace, which has been pretty much stopped just by the heat shells, honestly. I think it has one gun still left online. First time firing the main gun, and there goes the gun. Well, that was technically a fight. I missed most of it because I was working on adding all the little decorations. I don't know if anyone noticed this by the little green marks at the top of the screen, but the reason why I'm not currently in a higher difficulty is because I left the raft behind when I did the retrofitting. This is incredibly far away, and I believe I need to move that around to spawn in portals. It also explains why enemies are spawning so far away from me. Well, mystery solved. I've grabbed the raft, and look at how long it's taking to get back to me. I must have been moving for 2 hours away from this raft. The second the raft got closer, it spawned in a resource ring. The first thing I've seen spawn in 2 hours. Oh, it's beautiful. I've been here now for 4 hours. That is a crossbones. Oh, love seeing the larger shells hit it though. Wooden armor just gets shredded. A lot of small shells heading our way, not actually hitting. That thing was spawned so far away, it's been chasing us for ages, and I never bothered to even look what it was. It's in range of the cram cannons now, which isn't great. Oh, beautiful. Okay, it's one cram cannon pretty much taken out of action there with that shot, which is good because although they're detonating a little bit early, that won't always be the case. And as you can see, when they hit, they eradicate. Now, to be fair, that was mostly wooden armor. It just knocked out. It just hit the top of some of our decking, but yeah. We're also moving towards the portal, so it doesn't have forever to kill us. Landing quite a few with the heat shells now, so hopefully that's going to start taking out some of its vitals. Well, a lot of the decorations is destroyed there. Okay, another good shot there with the frag shells. I'm just trying to go for the front of the enemy. If we can keep hitting there, it's going to take a long time before it can broadside. So if we can just take out, there we are, some more of the barrels, that would be great. Yeah, looks like the front's been taking an absolute beating. Great heat shell there, directly into the cram. That's likely disconnected something. You know, we really should give the main gun over to the AI soon so we can just have it auto-fire as much as it wants. That was a fragment then, and it went directly into the target before detonating. That should have been a big deal. No, so much empty space. Even the fragments are having difficulty actually hitting things important. I mean, this is pretty much gone. This has been, yeah, mostly disconnected. The side guns are still firing, but they're not particularly scary. Okay, yeah, we're pretty safe now until it starts to broadside. Because those fragments aren't actually hitting us, and when they do, they don't really hurt. Turn off the AA for now. Oh, it's getting to broadside. Oh, that shot just detonated its ammo store. Beautiful. I don't know how many ammo stores the Crossbones has. I know it has like 3 AI, so I assume that its ammo is somewhat similar. Lots and lots of them. Still firing those small shots. Not that it really matters. Just go for the core at this point. I think the front's pretty much done for. Beautiful. Yeah, this thing is looking really bad right now. Yeah, the back guns aren't firing. It's pretty much done for now, so I'm just allowing the heat shells to finish it off. Adding a few small munition defenses here and there, also some on the turret over here, and I'll make the munition warners invisible soon, just like the rest of these detection systems. I ended up finding a blue portal, so here we are in the blue portal zone, which means there's no enemies, just loads and loads of red portals. So I'm upgrading the craft. We're going to cost about 550,000 total once everything's added, which means it's a pretty good amount of resource to go to difficulty 55. The blue portal, after all, teleports you 25 difficulties ahead. However, it gives you this lovely safe space for building. So I've just added another one of the heat cannons over here. I'm adding loads more central armor. I'm adding some more munition defense. And that's pretty much it. From the outside, only really the heat cannon's going to be new. But on the inside, lots and lots more armor. Difficulty at 55. So all I've done, as I mentioned before, is I've added loads more internal armor. We've actually got some heavy armor now here and there. I've added loads more of the turbines in the very center of the craft, in a few different compartments. As long as we have one of those alive, technically we can keep on floating. Some simple weapons on the side just as placeholders, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Just a bit of paint, loads more internal armor, all the boring stuff. We should be ready for the next target. We now cost 580,000, with 20,000 in the bank for just refueling and everything else. Ah, we have a friend. Okay, stop so I can manually control you for a second. Where even is that? It looks like a flyer. Hobgoblin? Maybe the Hobgoblin. Definitely the Hobgoblin. An annoying distance away, I've noticed. Okay, fire now while it's going down. We fire at the lower section. That should be a good shot. Oh, one of them hit, just not the one I was following. All we need is one good hit there in the center, and that will be it. Since we actually tested against this in the sandbox mode. There we go, massive explosion. It is going into the water. And that'll be that, because it'll then say too low. Very thankful for the extra armor, though. I'm not sure how much it's hit us, but not much. Only 3% of our health lost.
Moving out.
Okay, start moving. Oh, I always forget. It turns as soon as you start moving, so...
Moving out.
There we go. I always think for some reason it'll turn when it gets to the location. It doesn't, and it keeps doing that, and I keep forgetting. Two damage, there we go. How did all the extra armor hold up? Lovely. There's an air gap there, then heavy armor going through here. Yep, it's all hit places where it's far. Oh, I didn't fortify the stop section. Thank you for telling me, Hobgoblin. Oh, another one already. Ooh, right to that side. 3 targets this time. What do we have? We have... Oh, this is the Steel Strider. Ooh, this thing's got quite good munition defense, if I remember correctly. Yeah, that one's 500k, then has its 2 little minions. I'm not even going to bother firing the main gun at the moment, because there is no way that's going to hit. I'll just keep making sure I'm facing it, then I'll let the side weapons fire away. I might even turn off the anti-air, to be completely honest. Although, yes, it's an air target. That distance is wasting resources. They're not shooting us. I'll just keep firing the basic advanced cannon shells, which cost very, very little. If we get hit, then great. They're heat shells. They might do something important. You know what? I am going to shoot him. It's so slow. Oh! I don't think I've ever seen one of those shells bounce before. I didn't know they could. Oh, I guess they don't have inertial fuses. No, they have penetration depth fuses. Weird. Ooh, direct it there from the railgun. That's A lot of internal gubbins gone. I think it has short-range missiles and lots of them. Yep, there's our anti-munition being fired, and it's stopping some of the missiles, but definitely not enough to stop that entire attack. At least it lessened it, which is good. There goes one of our advanced cannons, although it looks like we've taken out something vital, and it's going down. I think that was the heat shells. It wasn't doing that with just the large shots. Okay, turn AA back on, and let's go for the little ones, please. Now. There we are, being shredded away by the plasma. Beautiful. The butt is gone. A pretty clean flight. A pretty clean fight, I say, while the other one's still actually firing at us. I mean, it's right there, so I'm not going to miss a shot, so that's lovely. And that went right inside, and it's gone. Lovely. It's nice to have an enemy about our cost as well. Okay, so we need to replace this railgun. This one was definitely, sorry, this regular gun. This is definitely less protected than our new one. And what I would like to spend any excess resource on is improving our plasma. It's actually a pretty small gun. I want it to be bigger and fire more than just one charge per shot. Oh, I thought you were dead. Could you be? Oh, we're already under attack. I was about to waffle about how this proves you need to armor up your turret because, look, that's what caused the problem. I don't have armor on the turret itself. And already we're being attacked by something. Let's slowly turn. Now, what exactly is firing at us? Steel Strider. Oh, it's the one with a little minion on the back. I can't remember what weapons. Is it a particle cannon? Yes, it's got a particle cannon there on the back. That's the main weapon, I think. Okay, he's trying to aim for the back of the craft once it's in range of the main gun. Let's see, will we get a hit? And the answer is yes, just not the one I was watching, as always. Well, if it's not in range yet, that's great for us, although it is stopping a lot of those shells. Wonder how good the laser system is. Every time I build a munition defense system, it never does well enough with advanced cannons. They're saying that, I guess ours are somewhat slow. Okay, where do I want to fire? Probably there. Oh, that's a problem. One of my smaller guns, I've just realised, I've accidentally attached to the control... Wow. I was about to say to control 1, which means it can't fire if I'm using the main gun. That thing just really detonates. See, that was a railgun. Why can that not fire at this range? Like, my heat shells are not very fast, especially from the smaller cannons, but they're able to fire. I guess it's just got a setting so it doesn't fire until it's closer to preserve ammo. Turn the plasma on, immediately the thing behind it vanished before I could even see. Since it does target smaller targets first, that's how its prioritization is set up. Well, no need to waste any of our energy, just keep firing the heat shells, eventually it will lose. Oh, its first proper attack back! A single missile, which will be taken out by our munition defense. I'm assuming it originally had more missiles than just that. There is no way. Yeah, I was about to say, there's no way that that particle cannon hasn't taken at least one stray hit from all the heat and everything else. So when it does eventually try and broadside, it's not going to be able to fire it. So it's a victory. A very slow victory. So these are 60 each, and it fires faster than our old main gun. So not quite as many charges per shot, but a fair bit faster fire rate. Should be a lot more accurate as well, since it has enough time to cool off each time. Or just shy of that for once. I'm actually going to change that right now. So this thing will be nice and accurate, super fast firing. It's going to be probably our most reliable gun now. The amount of aggression in this tier. What is going on? Okay, yeah, Plasma's already doing way better. Well, it hit. I'm not sure what exactly it did hit. So this is a... Not Grey Talons. What are you called? The scratchy evil ones who like to do melee and are nasty and like their god. Flayed ones. Not Flayed ones. That's the bloody Necron unit from 40k. They're the... White Flyers! Oh my god, I completely spaced out there. I am so tired. flayed ones are a Necron unit which have very long claws and like to kill things and try and eat their flesh, despite that they can't eat flesh. It's very sad. And we've already killed them. That was definitely a heat shell. That was not one of our frags. Do you want to know something? I'm actually noticing these are doing a lot of work. These are simple weapons, but if you put them with heat shells, they can really cause problems. We're under attack again, and I've gone a little bit crazy, and I've decided to build these guns all the way up to here. Why? I don't fully know. I'm thinking actual madness. So this is the Harbinger from the White Flyers, cost just shy of 600,000. Okay, good hit there with one of our frag shots. I'm hoping some of those heat shells are doing something. If we could take out that main gun, that would be wonderful. Oh, saw some internal explosion there. Direct hit with the frag, though didn't seem to do anything. What type of shells those are? Really rapid fire like that, I'm thinking probably either heat or very basic kinetic shells. Oh, it stopped firing. Yep, looks like the heat shells have got through and done their work. That's just the missiles left now in the core. Okay, good shot there from the frag. Or was it just another heat shell? It could have just been another heat shell. I'm missing with the frags a lot. This thing's a bit low in the water. Still, though, looks like a lot of things are offline on this thing. Yeah, there's the thing with heat shells. It looks like they're doing nothing until suddenly everything just stops working. Lovely. Look at how many fragments that volley causes of all those guns firing at once. Can you use these as anti-munition? Surely you can. You just need to use the correct local weapon controller, don't you? The defense version. There we are. We've been blessed with another red portal. Yeah, so what I need to do is remove this gun, and we need a gun which is just purely for just sheer damage, not just trying to disable things. Okay, turn off the AA gun. We're kind of running out of energy now. Can we please get a good shot with this? That would be beautiful. Thank you. Well, I don't know why people are so shocked that a SpaceX can do things in space so well. Getting into orbit and everything, easy. So I entered difficulty 60, and I kind of wasn't paying attention because I thought I'd have a grace period. There's a portal right there, which is great, so we get to 65, but we are under attack by the Judgments, which managed to get very close, and we've lost almost 70,000 resources already. I think actually hit some of our resource stores. Particle cannons are nasty. On the upside of all of our heat-based weapons and our main gun, I think I've taken out almost all of its guns. Yeah, that was a misfire, so it's just the back gun now. I doubt it survived that. Is the particle cannon still up and running? Yep, it's just not in view. That's fine. We lost that one again. That needs to be changed. As soon as I have the resources, that's what I'm doing. And that was it, I think. Good. I was adding some more point defense, some more munition defense around the craft, and I just wasn't paying attention. Our craft now costs almost 800,000, so I'm very glad there's a portal straight away. 2 million is the maximum I want our fortress to be, and enemies are going to get more expensive and give us more as we get towards difficulty 100. So far, the fortress run might have been the easiest run I've just done. I'm falling asleep again. Boop. Already another enemy in difficulty 60. Okay, so the thing is, there's a blue portal. So I think that's what we're going to go with. I've just finished adding some more armor and everything else. We now cost 850 already. So I think the blue portal's the right thing to do. Fire away, I guess. Okay, we hit kind of the side there, which is a little bit irritating. A lot of good hits, though, from the heat shells. Hopefully doing something to the internals of this thing. If I'm remembering correctly, this thing is surprisingly tanky. Oh, beautiful. In the gun itself. Let's see what that's done. So this is the enemy. The enemy is the Optimism. It's not actually the one I thought it was, funnily enough. Okay, some damaged barrels, if nothing else. That's going to mess up its aiming quite a bit. Ooh. Oh, that's neat. So are those missiles on a separate turret? That is really cool. I love how they've done... Oh, I love the gear. How do you do a gear? I'm trying to think of how you'd mimic that. That's just fabulous. I love that. Okay, things for the future. Need to learn to do gears. Because that just made me happy to look at. And this thing's firing at me. Could try and go for its wings, I guess. No, I think... Well, that plasma just did something brutal there. Okay, looks like a misfire from the cram, and the frag went exactly where I wanted it to. Again, it can be hard to tell how much the heat's actually doing, but I'm hoping quite a lot. Okay, we're kind of just hitting that heavy armor on the front. I think we've finally got through it all, so if we keep firing there now, that should open it up, I imagine. Can the heat shells please aim at the center? You're aiming at a section where there can't possibly be anything inside, and your whole purpose is to cause internal damage. Okay, that gun's gone now. So it's just the missiles, hopefully. My munition defense is working out okay. I am facing the wrong way, annoyingly, I've just realised, but a bit late for that now. Okay, that thing's going down in a second now. We can actually see the innards. And there we go, one of the frags went directly inside. Look at all of that confetti. That is all the stuff we want to see fall out of it. And once again, directly inside. That thing is pretty hollow at this point. It's still staying up though. What a fantastic design. To take that much damage and still be in the air is just amazing to me. Okay, that's gotta be it, right? It just occurs to me, I've not got anything to shoot down cram shells. That would have been an easy thing to do. Well, I will be adding a laser system next. That's literally the next weapon I'm adding. I'm gonna make it so it's partially munition defense. Neat. So in terms of the Avatar getting everywhere on the craft, at the moment they can access pretty much all of the top section absolutely fine, but they can't really access everything on the inside, so once we go through the blue portal, I'm going to spend half an hour or so just making sure there's corridors everywhere so we can get to everything, so we can look at the guns on the inside, because I always think that's fun, and make sure we can get to the ammo store and everything else. I think that would be a nice thing. Then, the rest of the time is going to be just adding the laser system. At the moment, it's not going to be that powerful, so I'm thinking purely munition defense. Then, later, I'll be removing this gun completely. This will be converted into a laser gun, which means pretty much every gun we have is different from each other, which is really nice. Railgun, regular advanced cannon, plasma. I guess technically advanced cannons, but they're simple weapons. Difficulty 60 has been so hostile. Ooh, there's a lot of particle cannon hits there. Gonna quickly check what that's done. That's likely to remove our front gun, honestly. I can't see where it's really hit. I guess at this distance, maybe? Not all of them are actually hitting, despite the fact it looks like it was. Definitely wants to get closer, so right now the range advantage is massively ours. It's moving very weirdly. Okay, direct hits there with the fragments. Oh, it looks like one of their particle cannons is already offline. Yeah, I think this was the enemy we fought at the very start of difficulty 60. It was so long ago, despite so little actually happening. Yeah, I think we've got this one. It keeps on trying to move forwards. It's actually hurting itself with the particle cannon already. Yeah, we've got this. Yeah, so the other thing I really need to do in the blue zone is I'm going to finally give AI control over to this turret so we can start watching the fights properly for the last fights. Because that's when things are going to get difficult. After all this resource, though, we're likely going to cost near 1 million already, so very glad for the blue portal. All I talk about is resources, I understand that, but I swear I only speak about it once every half an hour or an hour at most. Oh good, that whole fight and we kind of went halfway towards the blue portal. Okay, let's get some energy back. Next fight, no plasma, if there's another fight before the blue portal. In the blue portal zone, so one thing I've noticed is that we have loads of gaps like this. Absolutely loads of them, giant air gaps between the separate systems, which will of course have the corridors and everything else eventually, but for now, we can use for our laser systems. But the question is, do I want just one super armored core being fed into by loads of smaller ones, or do I just want multiple laser cores here and there, so if you take out one of these, you don't take out all of the laser systems? I'm not sure, especially since one of them is going to be a turret. That is the one good thing with the laser turrets. You don't actually have to build any of these laser systems on the turret itself. It's just a turret cap with the transceiver. Then you can have these way more armored up in the core. I mean, even this one here has layers. Especially since one of those layers is the gun I'm about to remove and turn just into essentially armor. Not sure. I'll work on it right now. Probably go to the sandbox mode to do some testing with it. Okay, so what I've decided is we're going to have a main core here, which is going to be for the weapon, and then for the munition defense, I'm essentially going to give each of them their own little setup. That way, it's all nice and separate. You can't take out everything if you just take out one thing. I'm trying to EMP protect it, which I haven't really been doing this run, and so far, no EMP enemies have really showed up. The one thing I am scared of now, though, is subs. We've been very lucky. I've only seen one so far, and it's just people going through a portal. But if they do show up, it's going to be a problem. So I think some basic torps will be needed very soon. Or even just a particle cannon, honestly. Just an underslung particle cannon. Just something to shoot at them. Manually, I can fire at them, but none of our weapons are particularly great at that. But yeah, so I'll be setting up some defenses very, very shortly. I cannot see the thing I am looking for. There it is, the node, the anti-munition defense. We'll be seeing these all over the craft, unless I make them invisible again. Yeah, that's not the colour of my lasers. I know someone who has that unique colour of laser, but there we go. And let's see if this is any good. This is just that one chamber completely filled with laser systems. Yeah, that's a lot of blocks being knocked off immediately. Some fire's already started. If we have the double turret like this as well, it means it can essentially fire directly up. And that was a kill straight away against the Lathrix. Good. I think that is more than enough for the main weapon. So that is just, there's a room here, a bit of heavy armor, and then it's just loads of these. I need to complete the armor out here rather than just having this huge air gap. So all that section there is now laser systems. And here is nothing, because this is a very vulnerable section at the moment. Maybe I'll use it for material storage, or just more armor for everything else. So I'll make a proper turret cap over here, then we'll figure out how we're going to do the munition defenses everywhere. The thing is as well, it's actually not as bad at targeting things underwater as I originally thought, so 1 second. So here's the thing, with the laser optics, you can essentially reduce how much damage is removed from water and also make it better at long range with less damage being lost over range. And because we're going to have a double turret like this, we don't need any steering optics. We don't really care too much about the field of fire because the two turret system will take care of almost all of that. So we can go kind of extreme with just the regular optics. So right now we are down to only 12% damage lost per 100 meters of water. To begin with, it starts off at 76%, which is kind of amazingly bad. Let's get back to where we were. There we go, just about the same. There's a small enemy over there, let's fire. Oh, like directly underneath us, that's way closer than I expected. And it did kill the target. Now if we make it a bit further out, and a larger target as well. There we go, what's it like here? Already, that damage is lost quite a lot, because although this enemy is probably not even 100 meters underneath the water, because of our angle, we're going through all of this. Yeah, that's not going to work even at medium range. I knew it wouldn't. Still a little bit disappointed, though. Okay, back to working on it. I mean, he's doing some damage, not the worst. Just, this is pretty short range, honestly, with enemies spawning out all the way over here. Okay, mostly charged up, and Harpy Squadron, tiny little copters. Just obliterated the first one, second one's being a little bit more annoying, but there it goes, and final one. Yep, I'll set up its AI so it'll target smaller targets first, because that is the perfect use for it. Lovely. Now to make the turret cap look less like a weird butt, and make the barrels invisible. Almost. So close. So these aren't really the biggest munition defenses. I just wanted to see how they do versus the Hobgoblin's cram spam. And actually, not too bad. That time, it took out everything. It's actually stopping a lot of those advanced cannons as well. Obviously, some are hitting, but it looks like if they're actually targeting them, they are shooting them down. That is pretty good, actually. They're not particularly big. Both of them have their own systems. They're both about this size here. That's going to prevent a lot of damage. They're set to be shorter range than the anti-missile missiles, which means they're only going to fire at enemy missiles if they absolutely have to try and preserve some power. Because that is the problem. These will take up a lot of energy. I could build one more. Because that is really satisfying. That is stopping so much of the enemy's damage. Very tempting. Nice, simple, manual fire torps. That's it. Just a tiny little system on the bottom because I'm running out of resources. That's going to be the next upgrade, another set of these. For now, these will do damage. Okay, difficulty 80, and we have our first enemy. I was just setting up our next movement. So it's a flyer, and don't think that's the Aero Tyrant, is it? Unless it is exactly... No, it's not. It's this thing from the Steel Striders. The Mobula. That doesn't sound like how I should pronounce that. It's probably too far away to even get a good shot of the laser right now, unless I'm manual fire, which I can do. Oh look, our little defense is actually working. It's stopping the small advanced cannon shells from hitting us. It's kind of pretty. Where even is that? It's like the clouds are angry at us. You know when you accidentally anger the gods? Happens all the time. Has this ever happened to you? You know what? Let's just turn on everything. Fire away. It's a lot more shells than we used to have. Wow, the laser itself is actually doing some serious work, even with some smoke defense there. Smoke defense! That's what else I was going to add, and I completely forgot again. With missiles, let's see how our defenses do. Completely nullified the entire attack. We are, after all, a fortress. I'm hearing explosions. Oh, torps. Okay, so we can't stop torps. Actually, that's a good point. We can't stop torps. Yes, I can. I can fly up in the air. What am I talking about? Okay, so whilst I'm just meandering around doing very, very little after that last fight, what I'm going to do is just quickly clean up a few of these rooms. Nothing too special. I'm just literally smoothing off some of the corners. We're going to add some staircases going down. Currently, we can access pretty much everything on the top of the craft nice and easily. We can go pretty much anywhere we want. But inside, we can go pretty much nowhere. So what I want is at least some more entrances and exits in random places. Then some staircases going into the depths of the craft so we can take a look-see at the weapons. Also, you don't realise how big this fortress is until you're in first person, and my god, this thing is huge. We now cost 1 million resources, and we are big. How did I fall through? I fell through solid matter. Well, welcome to the back rooms. Another friend has arrived. Make sure you're actually facing it, that'd be great. There we go. I've turned the AI back on for the main weapon as well, so now I don't have to hold anything. The only thing I need to manually fire is the torps. Okay, a load of missiles aren't quite in range. It looks like it's Scarlet Dawn. Yep. This is the Sirius. Is it firing any torps at us? Don't think so. I mean, that's just pretty. The bull shark. Oh good, it almost costs the same as us. I feel less bad now. Fire everything! I don't know if it's how I've set these up, but these always fire in the direction they're facing as soon as they get turned on. Then they start acting normal after wasting that first shot. And I know I've got the required accuracy to the minimum amount, so I don't really know what's happening there. And it's only that one type of simple weapon, and nothing else does that. Ooh, we've kind of just melted off its face. Huh, it appears to have stopped firing. Yeah, this thing's getting pretty brutal, this tower, but at this point, it now costs over 1 million. Just over 1 million, but still. And we have like 100,000 resources in stock. We're gonna be big. Yeah, that's pretty much all the main weapons stopped. Oh, some missiles. But without the other weapons to distract the anti-munition, I can't imagine they're going to get to us. Yep, there's the missiles going in to intercept, and the lasers picking off everything else. Except for really heavy kinetic weapons, it seems like we're going to be able to stop most things. Something so low in the water, though, looks like our detection system is struggling. Oh, why am I not firing the torps? I have torps. I can fire them. Yeah, I need to set this up with AI, I suppose. They do have signal processors and everything else, so they shouldn't be stopped by distractions. They shouldn't do too much, but I mean, any damage is good damage when it's not in your face. I watched the only one. Well, the only two, which missed. One thing I was concerned about is all the holes I'm making in my craft to make windows and everything out of glass. So what you can do is just go into the mimic, not window, glass block, and then hide original mesh, change it into a glass block instead. Ta-da! It looks like it's glass, it's actually heavy armor. Now what I should have done, I think about it, is just keep it as a beam and then add a glass beam, but still, you get the idea. Now I can look into that laser system, I can see my battery tower down here. Now I just need an entrance to get to the turrets. So I think finally the next weapon is going to be a missile silo. I'm trying to go with every weapon type, and I've been leaving the missiles to last because normally I'd use them first, but here is where they're going to go. I'm going to build a... Oh, red portal, fantastic. So I'm going to build a turret here, have it angled at 45 degrees, the missiles simply fire upwards like that. Nice and simple. I'll probably use 2 turrets so I can make it look a little bit more seamless. I'll try my best not to abuse that, since if you do build with 2 turrets, you can essentially clip armor into each other, which is very cheesy. I just think it looks nice on the edges. The defender of the red portal. Oh, is that the one with the huge missiles on the front? Oh, apparently its range is way less than I expected. The monsoon. The laser is way better than I thought it was going to be, considering only half our laser system is dedicated to the weapon, the rest is the defense. Now, these things' missiles are massive, and probably we won't be able to take them out, so hopefully we do some damage to the sides there, like that for instance. Yay for the heat shells. Heat and the frag are both doing great there. Attempt to take some manual control of the laser, but honestly the amount of damage we're doing before it gets even close is ludicrous. We were also stopping its small advanced cannon. Will it fire any missiles? Are these the large missiles? I think they are. Yeah, they are kinetic, so they just went through, though the damage was fairly minimal and it only hit some decoration space. Keep turning, make sure it's always facing us. It's nice I don't have to use the main weapon anymore, because that means I can actually focus on this, which is nice. I was going to say, it's nice over and over again. What's going on with that laser system? Oh, it's because I'm moving and it doesn't like it. Okay. Weird. Looks like that's it, though. Yeah, with the amount of resource we have, we could use kinetic missiles like theirs. It's really good guaranteed damage if we use a... Okay, so if we go to missiles, there's 2 ways to do this. I was going to say we could use the beam rider here, but actually what I think I would much rather use is only the remote guidance. Now these take up a lot of AI processing power, but we have loads of space, so that's no problem. And it allows us to use a non-regular front section on the missile, like the thumperheads. The thumperheads add impact damage, which makes them far, far better, in addition to just having loads of health themselves. So thumperhead, remote guidance, lots of physical warheads for extra health. Then that way, they're pretty much guaranteed to get to the target and will absorb a lot of the enemy munition defense. I used them in the missile-only run, and honestly, they were probably the most reliable thing I've ever built. This thing spawned in and immediately got stuck in a wave, I think. Yeah, it spawned in too low. It's a hydrofoil. It uses jets. So it'll be something like this. You'll only really see the top section here. All the rest of the turret's going to be defended by the armor here being drawn back, but also armor on the turret itself. So I was thinking 4x3 or 3x4. And these are all large missiles. Not to be confused with huge missiles, but they are pretty big nonetheless. So we can have these as kinetic, or we can have them as high explosive and then use kinetic missiles elsewhere, which will distract enemy munition systems. I do like big explosions. It's something we've been lacking in this playthrough. Oh dear. Okay, so I've just set up these missiles with remote guidance. I don't know if I have enough processing power yet. So these are kind of trying to go where they're meant to go, but I'm not sure if our brain's big enough. Oh, it's this really weird one. This one that drops nukes and it flips if the enemy's below it. It's so weird looking. And so cool, but so weird looking. Actually, these might hit. I did add lots of processing power. I just don't know if I've got enough yet. And apparently I do, kind of. Yeah, missiles got the job done there. Lovely. Even against a wibbly-wobbly enemy like this. This has been a really aggressive difficulty level. Okay, just let the laser do its work. At least it's actually hitting this bouncy boy. For very little, actually. Yeah, just continue. You're melting it. It's stopped bouncing as much now, actually, so let's go back over to that. And you back to moving. You know what? No, I really don't want another fight right now. Let's just keep moving, but turn around. That'll be great. Let me get to 85 already. Okay, munition defense doing a fantastic job there. Is that another bull shark? Don't care, just want to go through the portal, thank you. That is the coolest thing in this game. Extending the craft for the first time in ages. Definitely one of the more fun things to do, honestly, rather than all the internal mechanics and everything else. So this back section here is mostly just going to be here to protect the missiles. I think eventually it'll likely just be more laser system, or just some backup batteries or backup ammo. It's at the back of the craft, and as long as we face the target, that's going to be quite difficult to hit. Then we just need something coming out of here to protect the side of these missiles. I'm not sure what, though. I haven't yet set up the laser defense. I've basically placed the smoke dispensers, but I haven't added the laser warners yet. So we're doing a decent bit of damage to it, though, with our own lasers. Hopefully we can beat it there. Our missiles are incoming. I doubt it doesn't have any form of munition defense, considering it's a laser craft. I was wrong. Very happily wrong. Look at that. With all the missiles hitting 721,000 explosive damage, it has carved all the way through here and massively damaged their laser system, in addition to almost split the craft. It was a tiny bit off taking off its nose. I am shocked that it has no munition defense. It's made of lasers. Oh, red portal. Fantastic. I always find them during fights. Wonder how many I've actually missed despite going so slowly. It's got to be at least a couple. Incoming missiles again. As you can probably tell, I've increased how much CPU our craft has, which means it can actually use these properly. And by CPU, because I always say that mistake, I mean the processing power. They're general AI cards. What are they actually called? You know what? That just died. We win, haha. And what I'm talking about is, I'm getting very tired, the general processing cards. There we go. You need these to process both your detection systems, and also if you have the remote guidance on your missiles, it uses these directly. Lovely. We have way too many resources. I might have to go to sandbox mode soon, to be completely honest.
Moving out.
There we are. On the way to the red portal. Now, before we forget, we're going to do two very quick things. We're adding the aim point selection, try to target blocks above the water, and we are going with the target prioritization. We're going to be really simple here. Set all to 0. You don't like big targets. That's it. Doesn't matter where I put it here on the minus. So what this means is that the laser system will now target smaller targets first, in case there's flyers or nukes or anything else. We haven't seen things like the extinction yet, but they can always be spawned in, and they can always spawn in nukes. And with the aim point selection set up as it is, it's no longer going to shoot the laser through the water to try and hit a bottom block. Nice and simple. That one's kind of in the wall, but apparently it's attached, and that's all we care about. I went through the difficulty 90 portal, and the second I did, we're instantly under attack from... Ooh, you're not the basking shark, what are you? You are... the great white, actually costing more than us. Lovely to see. Oh, look how these open to reveal the guns. That is neat. Okay, well, off we go. Just to make sure I can turn it at all times. Doesn't seem to be firing at me at all from that range. I guess the cram cannons just can't quite reach. I'm seeing its munition defense going off against our shells as they bounce off armor and shields and everything else. We are still doing damage, though. Laser damage is at almost 300k. Not that much plasma, though, which is kind of worrying. It's turning around now, so we don't have too long before the cram cannons will be brought to bear. Will these missiles reach the target? Will there be enough fuel? Yes, there will. Fantastic. Okay, the front section just took an absolute beating, sadly not hitting any of the actual weapons. Still, though, whatever was in here, which seems to be torps. Yeah, that's just offline now. I can't see any more connection pieces, so it has turned off all their torps, which I'm hoping they didn't get a chance to fire. If they did, I'll just float up. It doesn't look like they did, so that's fine. In fact, I should start manually firing my torps. At the moment, my torps are only manual fire. What I need to do, really, is set them up so that they fire anything below the waterline. Which would be very easy to do. We just need a passive sonar or something. Or just, you know, a sonar. Don't know why passive one in particular then, but still. Guessing those are distraction missiles, which I don't think have done anything. Wow, this thing's lack of range is really causing problems for it. Oh, those missiles are brutal, and we can almost afford another set of them if we want to. I'm not going to, but I think I really want to do is upgrade our original railgun. It's still doing most of the damage. The kinetic damage there, the 442,000, is all the frag shells. Oh, actually, never mind, the missiles have now caught up and won. Well, I guess they are more expensive, so it makes sense. That's why we need to improve it, or just add another one. Probably add another one would be better. The more weapons we have, the harder it is for enemies to disable us. This was silly, though. Why didn't it fire back at all? I know you have longer range weapons than this. I fought you in the campaign. That is really far away. I actually double-checked the RAF very recently because I wanted to add some armor to it, and I know for a fact it's in the correct position, so this is just natural spawning in adventure mode. It's just a real shame. I got a lot of mixed arms fire, though, and looks like it's doing its job. So we can either add a new plasma cannon or a new railgun. That's probably going to be the next large weapon, probably the last large weapon I add. After that, it's going to be a lot of smaller weapons if I do add more. Of course, more defense is also a thing we could do, but apparently these long-range weapons just do the job very, very well. That was kind of sad. Because I know the Great White can be a real contender. Oh, building on these angles is just the worst. I built this as like a weird cube and just left it because of this reason. Genuinely makes me feel a little bit sick. No. You know what? Sure, the cube is fine. The cube is fine. It has the little crenellations on top. Everything is good in the world. It fits the theme, and that's the important part, even if it is a giant lump of heavy metal. Oh yeah, I was about to extend this. So, we now have over 300,000 resources. The rest are there. We cost 1.3 million. In fact, I think it's close to 1.4 million at this point. So, we can definitely add at least one more big weapon. I think I am just going to duplicate the main gun. It's harder to see when this thing's doing well, but every time it does, it just crushes whole sections of the enemy. Between that and the missiles, they're the two heavy hitters. The plasma is the most consistent, along with the laser, though it is more counterable, and then the heat shells they do the invisible damage that turns off loads of things. That might have been what stopped the enemy. I don't know why it didn't fire at us at all, that previous enemy. Did the laser burn through to its brain? Did a heat shell just go through it? I don't know. The question is, where do I put the next big turret? What I could do is raise this, then add another one there. No, because it's going to be really difficult to not fire over each other. No, we're under attack. Okay, stop that so it will lock into place and I move it. Our anti-munition system is doing just a beautiful job there, even against faster moving advanced cannon shells. I do not know what this is. It's stopping Thresher shells. Thresher shark shells. That whole thing is its gun. Apparently our munition defense is stopping it. Yeah, I don't think the Thresher Shark's really got a chance. Gotta be honest with you. Okay, distraction sticks and missiles do not care. At all. Of course they don't, because they're using remote guidance. They can't care. Oh, I love the Thresher Shark. It's one of those designs that in the campaign is a serious problem because it can hide behind... Oh, I'm losing out on energy there. It can hide behind other tanky enemies and just do so much damage at long range. In the adventure mode, despite the fact it's a higher end enemy, it's kind of a freebie if you just get one good shot. That gun is so fragile. And it's everything. Okay, we need to go to the sandbox mode now, though, because we took 2% damage from that fight. That's it. And this thing cost near $1 million. There's something satisfying about one-shotting the event horizon, and yep, our new weapon does that. So I decided to go with something a little bit more normal here. So what we have here is essentially a really oversized orb, which contains a size 500 particle cannon. Now, the reason why it's so oversized is so if I want to upgrade it into a size 1000, we can. A size 1000 is the maximum for a single lens, and currently we're using just a single long-range lens, which means we're firing a single beam of damage, but it's not really going to lose damage over distance, and as you can see from that last test, it can actually one-shot very large targets if it hits the correct space. The reason why I've gone with this is the alpha strike the Fortress didn't really have before. This will always be hitting the enemy first, and it's going to be able to disable whole sections of the enemy, if not outright destroy them. It also only costs 150,000, and because of its oversized nature at the moment, I'm about to add loads of armor to this thing. It can also be healed by the Fortress using repair tentacles, and it's being controlled by a turret in the very core of the craft, which means it's very unlikely to be dropped on our heads. Which is good, because a giant good guy eyeball will probably hurt the face. For those unaware, did you know that the mainframes actually have brains in them? I came so close to deleting that and trying again. I understand it's not on the theme of the rest of the craft, but it is so striking at even a distance, and I kind of love it. It's like Twin Guard, but more friendly. That's annoying. I was just working on the resources, and I'm under attack. Let's actually be able to see the target. That'd be great. Thank you. Why am I still seeing resources? There we go. Okay. So, the issue is that first shot didn't actually have any power to it from the particle cannon, because I hadn't yet set it up that we were getting power from the main craft. That's an event horizon! Oh, that's so unfair! The first particle cannon shot, the thing which is meant to kill this thing, didn't fire properly. Why is it facing sideways? The raft, I know for a fact, is facing forwards on my craft, so I have no idea what's going on there. That isn't because of positioning, unlike earlier. I can't really dodge. I mean, I'll try to, but let's see what happens, eh? That thing has such nasty firepower. Look at that, just blocks being taken off everything. Come on, particle cannon, you're designed to do one thing, and it's basically this enemy here. How long? Oh, I must have took damage, it's been reset. So annoying, the first shot, which is the important one with this weapon, decided, nah, not gonna fight massive explosions. Is that us or is that the enemy? I don't know. I'm seeing 1.7 million kinetic damage. I'm trying to pause the game right now. Okay, turns out I should have just watched the enemy. Our heat shells or our frag cannon, you know, the two actually scary things as well. No, the missiles. Wow. Never mind, I think the missiles just won that for us, and I wasn't paying any attention because I am a terrible YouTuber who kind of panicked. I kind of forgot we have other weapons. I always get like that. As soon as I add something new, I forget all the other things we already have. So, Event Horizon down. Welcome to difficulty 95, apparently. Next time, someone's actually going to have power. Okay, maybe you need a shield or more front armor. I have put the particle cannon on the front along with all the tubes. Although it can be healed, I didn't consider it's going to probably reset its charge time if it takes damage. Well, we have a lot of resources to play with right now, so let's see what we do with that. And you can get back to moving. Just spent like 10 minutes going over all the damage we took in that very short fight, and overall, I'm actually pretty happy with how it all survived. All of the turrets survived, even though the armor was destroyed on the outside, even though some of them had some of the barrels knocked off and such. None of the shells got through to the main turrets, which means repairs are relatively cheap, which is the important thing. That being said, the laser system and the heat cannon were both completely knocked offline, although their main body wasn't destroyed, so no internal explosions, and one of the barrels was destroyed on the railgun. I'm thinking it's time to make the caps heavy armor, because they just didn't stand up to being hit once or twice. Core stuff, great. Outside, needs some work, see me after class. Another Scarlet Dawn enemy, I was just trying to change some of the armor off then. Okay, let's go. Again, it's facing the wrong way, which is interesting. I just double-checked. The raft is definitely facing forwards on the craft, so not entirely sure what's going on there, honestly. I'll try and restart the game soon, see if that helps. They should be facing us, is the thing. There's a whole update about that. Okay, so as a main railgun there. The particle cannon hit the side, but sadly didn't seem to shoot anything important. Oh, that being said, I'm seeing lots of... Woo. That was the particle cannon. I just saw the damage go up. He just went straight through the steam engine, apparently. Not enough to fully destroy it, but there is now internal fires. The laser's doing good. I may just increase the power of the laser, give it a new turret cap, and double its strength. We could do that. Honestly, a lot of the weapons, we could just make them bigger. We still have quite a lot of empty space inside the craft. Oh, we need the kinetic missiles, though. I keep saying it, then forgetting. You know what? No. We're adding those kinetic missiles, which will make these missiles hit more often. As we've seen, these missiles really hurt. I don't think I've ever had a vehicle with such a combo of different weapons. I normally focus on one or the other, especially in the challenge runs, which are quite literally just one weapon type. Still going, that is such a sturdy enemy. Well, I am seeing our munition defense firing at the enemy's railgun shells, so I doubt we're taking them out. Though, that being said, I'm not seeing that much damage on our half. Lovely hit there by the frag railgun. They no longer fire in complete sync since I was doing some changes to them. Okay, need to stop the particle cannon and stop the laser for now. We're running out of energy. Just keep the missiles and the railgun and heat gun if the heat gun's still... No, the heat gun's been completely obliterated this time. Yep, definitely need to add some more armor to those. I haven't really updated the armor since I added them, and now we have way more resources, so really should improve them. So much front armor, just chewing through that is a nightmare. Okay, our heartstone's down. I can just build a new one as a backup just quickly. I actually don't know where our heartstone is. Okay, backup heartstone's there just for now. Looks like it was the heartstone itself that was hit. There we go. Yeah, the main AI was taken out. Wow, that was really close. We just about won. It just took so much damage. Yeah, we need non-energy weapons now. The particle cannon's very expensive, the laser and everything else. We could improve the laser, but I just don't think that's the right call here. Let's add the kinetic missiles, then improve this cannon here once it's fully repaired. By the way, this thing only costs like 40,000. It is such a cheap weapon. So I'm thinking, bulge out the armor here, add more layers to it. That'll help to defend the core as well. I think the heartstone's somewhere here, so that makes sense. It was hit. Kinetic missiles, let's go. Ooh, that looks creepy at nighttime. Here we are, out of the sandbox mode. Sadly, didn't have enough resources for the new weapon, but we're under attack apparently. But I have added lots and lots of new armor and moved around some of the vitals. Okay, particle cannon, fire. Lovely, we actually hit for 4k. Okay, it's not really a good hit there. We are fighting against the Thresher Shark, who has spawned in backwards. That is so unfair on the Thresher Shark. It's all about that front gun. I can't figure out why this is happening, by the way. I've moved the raft around. At the moment, the raft is facing forwards, like it was at the start of the game, and in previous fights, it was in different directions. The enemies just seem to not want to spawn facing us. It's something to do with us being a fortress, but I don't really know why it's suddenly become a problem. Oh, this is so mean. But it can't just wait. It has its own missiles and it's closing in, and it's not even turning around. I don't know what my missiles are doing there. Yeah. Just as proof, here is the original raft. I changed it ages ago, though I never actually ended up using it for flying. It can, I think, hover around just fine. It's facing this way, as you can see by the arrow. And this way is the front of the craft. It is where it should be. Slowly inching our way towards the red portal. Maybe I should finally allow our raft to fly around. Either way, though, we have until we get to there, which, to be honest, will be about half an hour. No, I'm not kidding. That's definitely how long it's going to take to get over there, for us to decide what we're doing with the craft. Hopefully not get attacked in the meantime. So, we didn't go with the ring shield in the end, because everything else costs too much energy. We still don't have the kinetic missiles, and we don't have regular shields either. Regular shields are definitely something we can add quite cheaply, and just have them turn on during a fight, and not have them super high strength. They would defend against a lot of smaller projectiles. I'm thinking spam enemies like the Kobold, like the Event Horizon, which just lobs loads of shells at you. That could work. And I think it is affordable. I'll see if we get into any other fights before then, though I think that's what I'm going to do if we get there and we haven't got any more resources. Oh, this one's facing the right way. I don't get it then. I'm just gonna stop mentioning it. Things spawn in, they can face wherever they want. Who am I to judge? I think that's the gorse, isn't it? Gorsey, gousey, goose. You know what, let's just stop moving. It's not gonna make any bloody progress. Anyway, it's been like 10 minutes. You may notice the red portal doesn't really feel that much closer. Probably does to you, because you're seeing like a big change, but for me, it looks like it's just been teasing us for a very, very long time. Okay, those missiles are going to really hurt. These are huge missiles, and they're mostly kinetic, so yeah, ow. Jeez, even with the damage they're sustaining, still— oh, not all in the same spot! Please, Plasma, don't suddenly detonate. What happened to them? Oh, just kind of— okay, yeah, shredded to the very bottom of our craft. That's fine. Most of the vitals aren't there. Plasma's still going, so is the frag shells. The laser's offline. That's what that took out. Yeah, there's no way I can really defend against those. I'm just going to have to take those. No matter how much armor I add, huge missiles are going to be huge missiles. It's just a matter of having enough of me that don't instantly get taken out everywhere. Okay, that's the last of their missile silos. Can I hit there, please? I'm just going to manually fire one frag shell, and it bounced a little bit near the end. Oh, what a beautiful particle cannon shot, though. Loads of fires now breaking out, apparently. I say loads. Some! Yes, some fires breaking out, apparently. Looks like our missiles are now just about getting through. One damaged one might just actually hit, which is nice. I don't think that missile is actually online, so I should fire at their railgun. You know what? Back to just firing where the AI wants to fire. Fine. Looks like we've won this one anyway. It's still got the railgun online, but without the missiles. I don't think it has the damage potential, really. I wonder if those tiny heat shells are even doing anything anymore from the simple weapons. I doubt it, but it's nice to have them. How much munition defense do you have? On the upside, we are about to kill this with minimal damage taken, so hopefully I can afford the kinetic missiles, which should stop our large missiles being stopped all the time. Ooh, that was beautiful. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I'm fairly certain the explosion was the gun. Nice. Also nice to see the enemy facing us. It really did just go through here. Man, it removed layers of heavy armor, though, which is terrifying. Apparently, when I was messing around with stuff, at some point, I changed these to this weird combo. I think I must have removed them, then re-added them. It has an active radar seeker and remote guidance. That's why they've been acting so weird. It doesn't need both. Thumperheads, that's what I wanted. Loads of extra health. You know what, I'm gonna go with even more reinforced bodies. There we go, now they are the connected missiles. I have no idea when I did that. Oh, and of course prediction guidance as well, apparently. Another enemy? I think that's the Goshawk. It certainly looks like it has a very unique silhouette. Spindly. I wonder how the shells are doing. Oh, looks like we are shooting them down. Yeah, looks like we're shooting all of them down, actually. We're taking 0% damage. I was just adding a small backup munition defense over here as well, so good timing there. Yep, we're not doing that much damage to it, but it's doing nothing to us. Glory to oversized defense systems. Here's some fires, but I can't really tell where they are. It's so difficult to hit. It's such, again, a spindly target. It's actually beat us as well. There's a bit of a spoiler for another one of our runs. I won't say which, but this was actually the death of one of our runs. It's deceptively strong. It doesn't look that strong, but the designer definitely knew what they were doing. Also, I love the design of it. It's so unique. How are our missiles doing now they have the thumperheads and actually, yeah, it looks like they're going to the correct place now that they're not doubled down. Brilliant. Far less damage per shot, but the odds of them being shot down is so low. Now they have so much kinetic value and so much extra health. Which guns are still online? Looks like none. Okay, cool. We have a victory. Another 10 minutes had passed. We're almost there. Let's turn off the energy weapons, please. Just missiles for now. The Angelic. Oh, I know this one. Yeah, it summons loads of, like, regular craft. I don't think these are nukes. My laser is making short work of them, though it's not seeing them that well, I guess, at this range, but still doing the work. Is the battle cannon on? Yep, I haven't seen fire yet, though. Yeah, no minions for you, I'm afraid. Incoming missiles. Oh, the fact they all hit the same spot, though. It's lost its tail. Kinda wish it hit more in the core there, but that's fine. The laser's an anti-children laser. Oh, look how it's got the halo moving around. That's so pretty. Twin Guard. I wish I had more designs like this. I mean, I love their mechs and everything else, but these things just are gorgeous. Do I need more firepower on those missiles? I mean, not really. They are doing the job. Just got detached then. Let me get to the red portal, please. That's a lot of internal fires. Oh, look at the back section as well, like that there. So much detail, so much effort. I still need to make a video where I'm just making my own craft, just designing them and nothing else. Just days spent on just getting better at these kind of things. Because sadly, in the adventure mode, you never get to fully do that. It's all a bit more haphazard since you need to keep on going forwards. Either way, one more victory before difficulty 100. I think I'll have enough at least for the shield systems now. So I'm going to be making these invisible as soon as I'm done, and they'll only be turned on during fights, so don't expect to see much of them, but they are going to be there. I'm going to add them to each of the turrets, to the eyeball, and then a couple near the front. We seem to be being hit here constantly, so I guess I'll add a shield there as well. Oh, when did this update? Okay, cool. So, it's now stating that chance to deflect projectiles when hit is perpendicular is 20%, when it's almost parallel, it's 40%, so angles are good to know. Did not know shields reduce plasma damage. When did they change that? Or perhaps it's been there from the very start of plasma, I'm not too sure, but I actually really like that in case it's new. Don't know if it is. Smoke strength, laser intensity reduced, perfect. Yeah, this will be a good alternative to our smoke since it is blocking our cameras and also our munition defense. And all shields are vanished. Okay. Now I need to actually turn them off when enemies aren't around, so I'll just quickly throw this control block in the center of the craft. So this is difficulty 100. We currently cost a grand total of 1.8 million, which means I'm very close to what my goal was, which is fantastic. We do have 202,000 in the bank, and I'm not sure if I want to use that to upgrade or use that as a backup for repairs and ammo. I'm thinking one last small upgrade, so I'm going to add a tiny extra missile system like I've been saying a million times. I'll just add it over here. It's only going to be small, 100,000 or less, obviously. We did have to go into difficulty 100. I was next to the portal, I got attacked, I just ran through it while I was doing the shields, which is really annoying. But thankfully, it seems like that spawn stopped any other spawns straight away, so we're just kind of sitting here, waiting for the enemies to realise we exist. Okay, so here are the new kinetic missiles. Pretty much all just reinforced bodies and fuel. So these should be nice, consistent, but low damage shots. Yet they're all hitting. In fact, they're all hitting the same spot, which is the really nice thing about them. Well, actually tore a nice chunk of heavy armor off then. But that would have also eaten away a lot of enemy munition defense before the larger variation gets there and does the actual work. Lovely. That's exactly what I wanted. That's all I wanted to see. Now to make this a bit more, well, part of the craft. Okay, so, we can go and see one of our battery storages there. We can move down here, main battery storage, one of the battery towers. We can see the laser system there. We can go down further, RTGs and some of the repair tentacles, the giant advanced cannon. We have the ammo store, at least the very edge of it. You know, those two are really close, but so far there's been no issue, so I can assume it's okay. Plasma cannon. The rest of the laser battery, and we need to now get to the heat cannon, then that's everything we can move to. In fact, let's just get back to the surface. We can quickly take a look-see at the laser cannon itself. Again, I love the size of it. At some point, I might do a first-person only run, and that'll be an absolute nightmare. So other than building, everything has to be in first-person. There we go. That's the tower there, which is the laser cannon itself. We've already seen the plasma, so we just need to be able to get in there to the heat cannon, and that's everything. Everything else we can just walk up to nice and easily, or do a little bit of parkour to it, in the case of the new missile system. Yep, there we are. That's the heat cannon. Now it's accessible, with some fake glass again. Can I please get on here? Thank you. Good. We can now move to pretty much anywhere we want on the craft. Not that I'm going to, but we can. Now, back to the adventure mode, let's fight some difficulty 100s. Well, here we go. Difficulty 100 again, and I think it's about time we use the bell properly. As long as we defeat one, I consider this a victory. We cost 1.9 million resources. So here's hoping we see something big. Okay, a miss there from the particle cannon, not a good start. Definitely Scarlet Dawn. I was honestly hoping for something not Scarlet Dawn. I've seen a lot of Scarlet Dawn during this run. We have facing the wrong way, the Hypernova. Maybe we should start facing the wrong way, but I guess that's the problem. No matter which way I'm going to face, it's going to be facing away from me. Here come the kinetic missiles. And he's using his laser against us, but he's having a lot of difficulty turning. Are we even in range with the kinetic missiles? I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of the laser system used up on them at least, so hopefully our large missiles will now get there because of it. Yes, they did the job. Absorbing all that anti-munition stuff so that the large missiles could crush some of the front. This really isn't the fight I wanted for the first difficulty 100, but it's fine. Again, if I could figure out how to fix the problem with enemies spawning in the wrong direction, I would. seems to only fire the anti-munition missiles at my large missiles, but it doesn't really matter too much. The laser system itself is the big problem. Though I feel like I may have just siphoned off too much of its power. How are we looking at the front? We are taking very little damage. Yeah, its railguns are actually being stopped. I wonder if the shields are doing much. It's really... Oh, I just saw 2 bounce. So you know what? Yes, the shields are doing their job. Do I get to see another bounce? Nope, no, I'm actually looking for it. Of course I don't. But I know for a fact, and then again, another bounce. Okay, shields definitely doing their jobs. Lots of bounces there. I definitely placed them correctly then, which is nice to see. Scarlet Dawn really are just... We're going to make a giant block of heavy metal fly. And you know what? I respect it. Since I am just a blob of heavy metal here and air gaps. Looks like our laser system's down, which is irritating, but seems like it's the only weapon that is. Oh, the heat shells are going into the target now. Yeah, I'm seeing fire damage stack up, so we've definitely gone through. Where are our large missiles? Are our large missile systems damaged? Nope, just takes absolutely ages for them to reload. This will likely be it. If the large missiles strike, that's going to open up all the rest of the armor now. There's so many gaps now into the core. We're seeing a lot of stuff falling off. That's the railgun. Yeah, I think it stopped firing. Am I right? Yep, that's a victory. No longer has weapons. The kinetic missiles are even going inside, which is quite fun to see. Our first victory. Not the most spectacular fight, but still. At least we will be able to recover from this, and we'll spawn in another enemy in a moment. My stamina is so bad today. I learned caffeine and being up way too late. Well, it's just nice to see that our defenses definitely worked, as did our new missiles. No, I saw some lag, that's annoying. Our laser system isn't yet online. There we go, at least the particle cannon hit, although for such a low amount of damage, I doubt it was a proper shot. Is that another Thresher Shark? Oh, but look, it's facing the right way this time. I don't get it then. I don't get it. I just don't get it. It's fine. I'm just insane. So many misses. Come on. Where are our missiles? Yeah, the new medium missiles aren't quite in range at this distance, just because of lifespan. Though, didn't really need them. Okay, I just can't hit the Thresher Shark with missiles, it seems. Still, looks like the cannon has been exposed. Laser system is coming back online. Obviously, a Thresher Shark is not really a threat. We've already fought this before, and its gun is offline. Did its gun just pop back into existence? Is that just because of the mimic work? It's now a submarine. Don't be another... Oh, stop being Scarlet Dawn all the time. What I would love to fight is the Megalodon. In fact, you know what? You're the Crucible. You're 2 million in cost. After this, I'm going to the sandbox mode and fighting a couple of enemies I actually want to fight. I love the Scarlet Dawn. I love their designs. I have fought way too many during this run. Oh, interesting. It's going right after the eye. I haven't actually seen an enemy do that yet. Doubt it's going to be in range of the kinetic missiles. I have added regulators to them, so they now last 30 seconds. Well, they last 30 seconds before their fuel runs out. Before it was only 20. Then they're simply timed out. Oh no, here they go. Okay, kinetic missiles all landing. Beautiful. No real efforts to stop them, which is interesting. Oh, duck and dive at the last second. A lot of the missiles simply didn't hit their mark. I have no smoke defense on the eye, but on the upside, the eye can be healed. Similar to Twin Guard, if it just keep firing at that. Although I can't fire the particle cannon, in fact I'll turn it off, I'm just going to be able to heal that. Yeah, this is why Twin Guard are so difficult to kill sometimes. If you don't do just overwhelming firepower on the section you're attacking, or you go for the base, like a sane person, then you're gonna just be shooting for eternity. Lovely, look at all of that. Anything vital? Okay, I saw some laser components before they timed out. Our laser is also still firing, now in the hole being made by the missiles. Oh, our laser system immediately gets knocked off as soon as I say that, because that's how the universe wants to work. Oh my god. Okay, that laser system is actually terrifying. Come on, hit those laser sections, please. That one might... Yep, okay. In fact, that whole attack was perfect. All those lasers on the front just got knocked off all at once. I think that might be it. It's now showing us its belly, which is good, because that means it'll likely be less defended than the front section. I wonder how our missiles do it so short range. Apparently absolutely fine. Beautiful. Again, all hitting the same spot, although they're not doing much damage each. It does allow them to core out quite effectively. And the Crucible is down. And that's it. Okay, to the sandbox mode. I just want to make sure the buoyancy factor is correct. I've seen so many things sink today, which I normally don't sink. Maybe like here? Okay, that's closer than it's been spawning in the adventure mode, but the Megalodon does want to be closer than we want the Megalodon to be, because the missiles at the back aren't particularly long range. That opening shot from the particle cannon, though, was really mean. 220,000 damage, apparently, with some fire started, so good start from us. As you'd expect from our Alpha Strike, to be honest. And then let's begin. Okay, let's see. Are those shells being deflected or what from the main guns there of the Megalodon? They're being stopped. Lovely. Wow, even though we spawned it in closer than the adventure mode would have, the back missiles still aren't firing. It will try and broadside eventually as well, if I am remembering correctly. I have fought the Megalodon a lot of times at this point. There's a lot of defense. Another particle cannon shot. Yeah, those railguns it has were kind of nullified there, which is terrifying. There we go, the missiles are being launched. I believe it also has particle cannons on the side. Hopefully we've been hitting a few of those, that would be great. Anti-munition gun there, just firing away. Oh yeah, where are our missiles? Did none of them make it? Wow, I didn't even see that happen. Oh no, there they are. They're incoming now. Stop it. Let's pause for a second so I don't end up getting thrown around again. I don't actually know if any of them made it. A lot of them got shot down. A few of them went really weird directions. Okay, following our smaller missiles now. No, they're all getting shot down. Okay, so its munition defense is fantastic, similar to ours. This is going to be a slog. We pause for a second. We are at 100% health. The enemy is at 93. Mostly from that starter attack, to be completely honest. Yeah, we're just resisting the damage so incredibly well. Another good particle cannon shot. There were some fires briefly, which got put out since it was underwater. Turns out fire is weak to water. Yeah, our missiles are getting really badly damaged on the way in. I think because the AI is changing target too often, that's one of the problems. It keeps throwing the missiles around really weirdly, and occasionally that just causes misses. We still did 103 explosive damage that time, but could have done a lot better. I still can't believe it can actually stop those advanced cannon shells. That is wild. However, we are starting to run out of power. So I'm thinking maybe we turn off the laser system. It has done really well so far, but it is also our biggest energy consumer. Okay, one gun still looks good-ish. The others look very badly damaged. Yeah, I think for now, let's turn off the laser. Is there some kind of jamming you can do to these types of missiles which I'm unaware of? Because certain enemies, it seems like the remote guidance has a real tough time actually finding the target. I have to check that after this fight. I know there are types of jammers, but is there one for those missiles? If so, it explains a lot of what I've been seeing throughout this game, ever since installing those types of missiles, the remote guidance. Okay, looking pretty bad now. I'm going to turn off the plasma as well. You know what? I'm going to turn off everything except for the cannons. They seem to be doing fine still. We're almost at 1 million regular kinetic damage, and that's purely from these cannons right here. I could manual fire. What I really want is those missiles at the back gone. The particle cannons are gone, and it seems like its railguns are all offline. Yeah, where are those missiles going? There we go. The signal jammer interferes with enemy wireless connections between vehicles and between vehicles and wireless remote guided missiles. That is what's been messing up our missiles. And it is really messing them up. They're going all over the place. Please hit the particle cannons, just a couple of you. Thank you! Yes! Beautiful. 2 of them went down straight away. So want to manual fire right now. It's like, just hit this right there. You can see it right there. It does appear to be sinking. I've actually noticed the simple weapons taking a few things out, which is beautiful to see. Small turrets like this, they're actually surprisingly good with, because they can just cause the heat fragments inside and just sever little connections. I just saw the enemy shoot down its own missile. Oh, actually, it could have been one of our missiles. Never mind. I still don't know why one of my munition defenses is still doing that occasionally. It's not even consistent, that's the worst thing. I mean, this is it, right? The particle cannons are gone, the missiles can't actually hurt us. I think it's a very slow victory, but turns out the Megalodon is countered by just this much defense. I love the Megalodon. Is it in my top 5 designs? Yes, I think it is. Because it has a slight goofiness to it, but it carries it so well, you wouldn't think of it as goofy, and I love that. Whenever I try and go a little bit goofy, you know, like, look, it's a shark, haha, I end up making it way too silly. Victory for the Loyalist fort. So with that, and with weeks of recording, this run is over. It was actually one of the easier runs I've done, and I didn't even min-max too hard on some of the weapons. I mean, you can see inside here, this is just a mess. I just threw things together. You can definitely make a fortress way more powerful than I originally thought. I didn't realise how little energy you needed to keep this thing aloft, and how easy it is to defend those sections. So, yeah, forts. Have a go with them. They're incredibly fun, if incredibly slow, and I am never doing this again. So thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed, then of course, likes, favourites, shares, comments, all that good stuff helps out me, helps out the channel, and most importantly, shows that From the Depths is a series you wish to see continue in the future. Next time, I don't even know anymore. But it'll definitely be next year, so happy holidays, everyone.